bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And that wraps up our pre-race from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. When we come back, the command of fire engines for the EcoSave 200.
NASCAR Live Race Day has been brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it done. Green, green, green.
Where high octane meets the high banks.
Down.
And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Coming up, the green flag from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to mrn.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Live on the NASCAR Racing Network. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Let's get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll and pass the race cars today, pal. Oh, boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Tonight, the EcoSave 200 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Real unlimited data for fans of fast. Official partner of NASCAR. By Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance.
Very exciting here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The lights are coming on, the sun is going down, and Mark, the one thing I love about the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, short racing. 30, 60, lap 30, lap 60, lap 134 at the end of this race. They have 4 sets of Goodyear tires. They will have to make a pit stop in the final stage of this race, but it comes quick. You better make something happen fast.
Here's their strategy. Flat on the floor. Every lap. Let's get her done.
Up until those tires start to wear out just a little bit, but I think that's going to be an exciting thing. Truthfully, Mark, if they wanted to play some strategy here, they do not have to pit at the end of Stage 1. The end of Stage 2 comes on lap 60. They're going to have enough Sunoco race fuel in this truck, in these trucks, to go about that far. If you remember at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we saw that stretched out, and it hurt Corey Heim just a bit. If you remember, he actually ran out of fuel a little bit early and had to come in and pit early. He did win Daytona so they could take that risk. Not everyone can take that risk here at Las Vegas.
There was another driver that took that risk as well. It did not play well for either one, and I'm sure these crew chiefs took a look at that like, we don't need to be doing that again, but we'll see. And, you know, what I take away from the season, again, it was Daytona, Atlanta. You got to be as good or as lucky as you are good to come out of there with good finishes. 3 drivers with 2 top 10s, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, but 4 drivers came out of those 2 races without even a top 20. Rajah Caruth, Tony Breidinger, Connor Mozak, Matt Crafton.
Yeah, and that's really tough. And when you look at this starting lineup, too, some of those drivers are actually starting toward the back. Tony Breidinger, Matt Crafton didn't necessarily have a great qualifying effort with his truck. He's a little bit almost to mid-pack in this one, and it's going to be a struggle. The good thing is with 31 trucks, they're going to have a little more room on pit road as well, so you have a better chance of not having another truck pitted around you, Mark. But still, it is a tough race to win. It is a tough place to race, and these are the tough trucks.
Well, this is no gimme. This is a racetrack. You go out, you have to earn it. You have to have a good truck. You have to have good strategy. And when the time comes, you have to dare to be great.
Yes, you do have to dare to be great. And I'll tell you what, people who dare to be great will be giving the command to fire engines as we go trackside now and get things going here with the EcoSave 200 at Las Vegas.
Here to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome members of the United States Air Force famed Thunderbirds.
Drivers, start your engines!
Now, here's the starting lineup.
Rolling off 31st, Nathan Bird, the champion, Hell Chevrolet. Stephen Malazzi in the Moorcore Ford will start 30th. Frankie Muniz, the Morgan & Morgan Ford, starts 29th. 28th will be Josh Rayum, the Levrack Ford. The Women's Sports Foundation Toyota of Tony Breidinger will start 27th. 26th, Luke Fenhouse in the SodaSense Ford. The Soundgear Toyota of William Sawalich will start 25th. 24th, Matt Mills, the JF Electric Chevrolet. The Love's RV Stop Ford of Lane Riggs will start 23rd. 22nd is Caden Honeycutt, the Autoventive Precision Chevrolet. And the Freedom Warranty Chevrolet of Spencer Boyd starts 21st.
Then on the outside of row number 10, starting 20th in the Champion Power Equipment Chevrolet, it's Grant Enfinger. 19th, Bailey Curry, the Mast Owl Technologies DQS Chevrolet. The Victoria's Voice Foundation Toyota of Tanner Gray, 18th. 17th, Chandler Smith, the Long John Silver's Ford. The Safelite Toyota of Corey Heim goes off 16th. 15th, Ben Rhodes, the T-Sport Trucks Ford. The Adaptive One Caliper Chevrolet for Jack Wood, 14th. 13th, Andre Perez de Lara and the Telcel Chevrolet. Then 11th, Matt Crafton, the Black Label Bacon Menards Ford.
And now your top 10 starters for the EcoSave 200. Rolling off 10th, Connor Mozak in the Napa Night Vision Chevrolet. The Rackley Roofing Chevrolet of Dawson Sutton will start 9th. 8th, Giovanni Ruggiero, the First Auto Group Toyota. The SodaSense Curb Records Ford of Ty Majeski will roll off 7th. Rajah Caruth will start 6th in the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. 5th will be Stuart Friesen, the Hallmar International Toyota. Starting 4th, Justin Haley, the Gainbridge Chevrolet. And the Quanta Services Ford of Jake Garcia will start 3rd. And now the front row on the outside pole, Tyler Ankrum, the Liuna Chevrolet. And winning his first career pole in just his 5th start in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Corey Day, the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, with a speed of 177.702 miles per hour.
And that's the starting lineup for the EcoSave 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Imagine a scrapbook filled with all your favorite memories of 75 years at Darlington Raceway. Now imagine that scrapbook going 190 miles per hour.
Have you ever? No, I've never.
You don't have to imagine it. You need to get to Darlington, where the drivers of today tackle the track too tough to tame, just like they did your first time. NASCAR Throwback Weekend at Darlington Raceway, April 5th and 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com. Discover South Carolina.
Keep up with all of the action during the 2024 NASCAR season with NASCAR Today.
William Byron has won the Daytona 500.
Every weekday throughout the season, we'll bring you the latest news and insights.
At that point, I really had in my mind, okay, we can really win this.
As we count down the days to championship weekend in Phoenix.
It's surreal still. I can't believe I'm in this position.
I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
31 trucks are rolling off a pit road, lined up behind a Toyota GR Supra pace car. Coming up, the green flag for the EcoSave 200 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
After a devastating storm that brings down trees and homes, so many families have nowhere to turn. That's why Samaritan's Purse responds immediately after hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and fires all across the country. Our volunteer teams bring tools and compassion to homeowners who have lost not only possessions, but more importantly, hope. You can help. Join with Samaritan's Purse. Log on to samaritanspurse.org.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's go down to pit road and Brett McMillan.
Well, Mark, one of the things I'm going to be watching tonight is what our pole sitter, Corey Day, has to deal with tonight. He's working with a longtime pit crew chief, Ryan Patty, but the challenge is they really haven't worked together very much. They did a test in Rockingham, but they really don't know each other's language. Ryan Patty's told him, I'm really good as long as I can see the car. But since it's a big bend here in Las Vegas on pit road and the front stretch, he's not going to be able to see it very much. So he's asked him to keep things as basic as possible. The Rockingham test, they changed a lot of stuff so he'd get the feel, Corey Day would, on what different things feel like to try to help this communication for tonight's race. Heather DeBow?
And speaking of another rookie driver in the field, his first season with Tricron Garage, Gio Ruggiero. Now, Gio has the best average finish out of all the rookies this year with 6.5 after the last two races. He led some laps at Daytona. He also finished second. And I caught up with him right before he got in the truck, and he was calm. And he told me, you know what, I just need to be patient. He's like, everybody's out here to get my trophy, but I want to go win it. And his crew chief, Jeremy Donnelly, said, you know what, we're kind of surprised on how he qualified with that 8th starting position. So they're hoping they can keep up that surprise and keep a good run going here for his first time at Las Vegas.
All right, thank you very much, Brett. Thank you very much, Heather. We're also going to introduce our two turn announcers that are joining us here. And if you look at the exit of turn number 2, there is a Toyota Gazoo Racing billboard. That's the last one. Right next to it, a Coca-Cola billboard. And perched on top of that with a great view of turns 1 and 2 is our favorite Hoosier, Nick Yeoman.
Well, my neck of the woods, we call them Boilermakers, but I'll settle for Hoosier, Brad. Good evening. Good. Looking forward to this one here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, this fantastic facility. We'll be covering turns 1 and 2. The banking pretty pronounced here in turns 1 and 2. 20 degrees. The transition from 9 degrees banking into turns 1 and 2 is pronounced. And you heard some of the drivers talk about the bumps down here in turns 1 and 2 and how difficult it is to control the trucks, and especially on a windy, cold night like this. Could be very interesting watching those drivers navigate the bumps all the way around turns 1 and 2. The good news is you've got plenty of racetrack. It is wide enough to fit 4 or 5 of these Craftsman Truck Series machines. Expecting some good racing Racing. Yellow walls painted all the way around the outside rim of this speedway. Lots of billboards here in this section of the racetrack as well. When they leave turn number 2, they'll roar adjacent to the Nellis Air Force Base. And about halfway down the backstretch, we'll hand them off to Pat Patterson.
All right, thanks very much, Nick, and happy race day, everybody. Yes, we refer to that backstretch as the Nellis straightaway, and that leads down into turns 3 and 4. Much different than turns 1 and 2, more of a sweeping corner, and one that you don't want to arc yourself into quickly, because if you do, you're going to run out of corner, and that means you got to get out of throttle. These guys will be trying to manage that all night long. You mentioned the wind. Yes, we do have a wind, but it's a good Vegas wind. And people say, well, what does that mean, Pat? Well, it means that it's consistent and it's blowing at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Unlike the bad wind, when it just blows really hard for a second while you're trying to enter this corner, upwards of 30 miles an hour, that's the one that kind of puts drivers on edge. So we got good wind, we got great lighting, we got the best fans in the world, and we're going to have fun down here in 3 and 4 tonight. We'll keep you entertained as these trucks get after it.
We're going to have 134 laps of fun. Again, Stage 1 ending at lap 30, Stage 2 at lap 60, and then we've got 74 more laps to bring us to 134. Pit road speed, 55 miles per hour. Our NASCAR starter is Rich Keeter. Our pace car driver, Eric Johnson, behind the wheel of that Toyota Supra pace car.
And he just flipped the lights off of that Toyota GR Supra. That means we have one to go before we go to green flag racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Corey Day, we've talked a lot about him. He is the latest, the newest up-and-coming driver. The guy that Kyle Larson told Rick Hendrick, we need to sign to a development deal. Tonight, he's driving a HendrickCars.com Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports, but let's not count out the driver to his inside with McAnally Hilgeman Racing, Tyler Ankrum. He has been wildly consistent. He has been very strong. About the only thing he has not done is put that truck back in victory lane since he got that first win at Kentucky Speedway.
126 races since then, but he's had some close calls, 3 runner-ups, including right here at Las Vegas a year ago.
And we'll see what can happen in this race here tonight. Those are just 2 of the 31 trucks that are going to be doing battle here in the EcoSave 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A beautiful time of year to be here in Las Vegas. And Pat Patterson, I know that pace car is midway down that Nellis straightaway, and they're getting right into the view of you. What can you tell us about how this field is lined up?
Well, the top 10 will line up like this. Row number 5 outside, Connor Mozak, strict right beside Dawson Sutton. Row number 4, Gio Ruggiero, and he lines up against the champ Tom Majeski. Row 3, it'll be Rajah Caruth and Stuart Friesen. Row number 2, it's Justin Haley, of course, with Jake Garcia. And on the front row, Tyler Ankrum and Corey Day. Corey Day in control. Fans are on their feet here at Las Vegas. The trucks are ready. The fans are ready. Pace cars heading to pit road. We're about to turn them loose here in Vegas.
If you're going to make it happen, you have to make it happen fast. That's the way we race here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The GR Supra pace car has pulled onto pit road. The field is coming toward the start-finish line. The green flag is in the air. A great jump on the outside. Corey Day and Tyler Ankrum stuck door-to-door together as they pull away from the field behind them.
Yeah, the pole sitter Day elected to start on the outside. He'll leave the bottom open for Tyler Ankrum, and Ankrum is going to fill that spot. They're still door-to-door out of turn number 2 as Justin Haley's going to give Corey Day a push down the backstretch.
Boy, that's just what he needed to rocket to the front. And here comes Haley on the inside. Haley's going to try to make a move. They'll go door-to-door, side by side with each other as they race off 4.
Corey Day on the outside trying to lead lap 1. Haley to the inside, down to the line. It is Haley by inches. He'll lead the field back to 1, now 3 wide.
And how about Tyler Ankrum? He's going to scoot to the inside and pass both of them. Justin Haley got a little sideways as we got a car up against the outside wall. That's Jack Wood. He'll gather it back in, but Ankrum goes 3rd to 1st in turn 1.
Tyler Ankrum now, you can consider him a veteran the way he raced right there. You can see why. Bottom of the racetrack, that's where he'll stick his truck now, and he'll lead them off turn 4.
Still under green. We're about to complete lap number 3. Out front, it is Tyler Ankrum. A big, bold move, but right on his tailgate. Corey Day and Jake Garcia.
Yeah, about a 3-truck breakaway at the front of the field as Garcia is going to bury that car to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll follow the leader, Tyler Ankrum, out of turn number 2. Corey Day about 2 car lengths back in the second spot.
Ankrum out up front by about a truck length and a half. Right behind him, the pole sitter. He'll pull right up alongside, try to go to the outside here and try to set him up for a pass off at turn 4.
As he moves up the racetrack, Garcia had an idea about going to the bottom, decides against it. Top 3 nose to tail. Ty Majeski trying to reel him in.
We talked about the accolades for Corey Day, certainly doing a little learning here in the second spot. That dirt racer will put it on the outside and try to run down Tyler Ankrum. Can't get him out of turn number 2.
Ty Majeski rolls in that 4th spot now. There's a battle back there for number 17. Of course, that is Gio Ruggiero trying to make a move. Up front, though, it stays tight between first and second.
Gio Ruggiero, he moves himself up into the top 5 and a couple of trucks behind him. Stuart Friesen trying to make something happen with his Toyota, but Justin Haley now ducks to the inside of Ruggiero as they head to 1.
Yeah, Brad, it's an absolute hornet's nest from about 5th on back. We'll pick up that 5th spot as Gio Ruggiero is going to rock it around the outside of Justin Haley. He'll clear him out of turn number 2.
He'll get that spot. Haley will slide back a spot. Majeski is there. Crafton is there along with Corey Heim. Good racing there. Up front, a good battle for third now as they come off of turn number 4.
As they work their way out of the corner, Majeski now drives to the inside of Garcia. Garcia trying to fight him off. They're door to door in turn 1.
Ty Majeski won both stages in this race a year ago, so he knows how to get to the front. He will pin that car to the bottom. Now throws a slide job on Jake Garcia. Nice pass. Move Majeski to third.
Up front there, once again, the leader down into turn at number 3, Tyler Ankrum, being challenged for the pole sitter to the outside. Can't quite find the muster on the outside.
Corey Day has been really liking that outside groove. That definitely comes from his sprint car background. He's about a truck length off the back tailgate of Tyler Ankrum, but that's closing.
It's the longer way around the racetrack, but you can build up momentum, and that is what Corey Day is trying to do. Now goes to the middle of the racetrack, now gets in line behind Tyler Ankrum. They've got about a 3-car truck length advantage over Majeski.
So first and second now enter turn 3. Only about a half a car length separate those two. Ankrum up front. Day trying to wind it up and about 3 more cars back to the 98.
Stuart Friesen on the move now. He is broken free. He's riding in the 6th position. Then it's Corey Heim, Justin Haley, and now Chandler Smith trying to reel him in as they climb the banking in turn 1.
Yeah, they'll dive into turn number 1. Matt Crafton in that bright yellow Menards car will run the outside just outside the top 10. About a 5-car breakaway down the backstretch, Matt.
Chandler Smith there can't seem to get anything done behind Justin Haley. Behind them, Rajah Caruth. Up front, though, a battle for second shapes up.
Corey Day had it. He was on the tailgate of Tyler Ankrum, had to back off. That really helps Ty Majeski. Now he rides in third. He'll look to the inside as they head into 1.
Boy, Corey Day is getting some strong runs out of turns 2 and turns 4. He held off Majeski. Now he's looking for the race lead with Tyler Ankrum. Not going to give him a lot of room. Got awful tight there, Pat, off of 2.
Side by side. That's the way they race down the Nellis straightaway into turn 3. They're still side by side. Bottom there, the leader trying to hold on Ankrum to that spot. Day lets his car slide up, truck slide up. He's going to get past for second.
As the top 3 fight for those top positions, 2 more trucks drive into the battle. Jake Garcia along with Gio Ruggiero as Ankrum continues to lead in turn 1.
And those 2 cars running 4th and 5th have a great view with a battle for second. It is Corey Day on the outside of the Chevrolet, Majeski on the inside, and his Ford down the back straightaway.
Majeski now takes a peek inside as they race into turn number 3. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack. Corey Day goes to the top side of the racetrack. They battle hard. Day gets a good run at the leader. Not going to be able to pass him. Well, he might get him this time.
They are door to door. Corey Day on the outside. Can he take the lead? He does it now. 10 laps complete here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They continue side by side.
And what a 10 laps it has been. Exciting at the front as Corey Day again runs that middle groove. Tyler Ankrum has not left the bottom of the racetrack all race. He'll hold him off out of turn 2.
Majeski just 3 truck lengths back of the lead duo. Then you get Jake Garcia in the middle of it as well. Day will not give up on the outside, trying to get that lead away.
What was a 3-car fight for the top spot turned into a 5-car. Well, guess what? It's now 7. Stuart Friesen, Corey Heim have caught the lead pack.
Just had a car streaking down the back straightaway slow. That was William Sawalich. Looked like he caught the wall. Up front, though, the battle rages on. Tyler Ankrum by 1 truck length over Corey Day.
Ankrum got control by only a smallest of margins, just a half a truck length as he holds the lead and he stays down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's where the speed is at, down here in 3 and 4 as they exit.
William Swalich brings his car down to pit road. He's going to come in for right side tires. Tyler Ankrum continues to lead as 12 laps are complete here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it done. Green.
Where high octane meets the high banks.
Down.
And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
From tickets, parking, and travel, race weekends can be stressful. Let Racing Electronics make communication easy. With a scanner and Easy Talk intercom system rental from Racing Electronics, you can effortlessly talk over the noise of the race. Hear uncensored driver and crew communication from every team in the race, or tune into the race broadcast with your favorite MRN announcers. To learn more, visit RacingElectronics.com today.
After 14 laps completed in the EcoSave 200, Tyler Ankrum continues to lead Corey Day. Our race brought to you in part by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag.
Bring your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now in the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Welcome to Martinsville.
Martinsville isn't your average everyday racetrack. It's truly one of a kind. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR weekend at Martinsville Speedway, March 28th through the 30th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
Corey Day just blasted his way past leader Tyler Ankrum. Now he has his hands full with Ty Majeski.
Yeah, Majeski followed Corey Day through that hole, and now he's looking to the inside. Pat, they're side by side for the race lead.
And that's exactly where they'll enter turn 3, side by side, door to door. Majeski on the bottom to the outside. Day. Majeski with that left tire right on that. Oh, and Day gets way loose. Up next to the wall. Loses the lead. Loses second.
Wow, he does not hit the wall, but he does lose a couple of spots. Ty Majeski, Tyler Ankrum, now Corey Day losing third to Jake Garcia.
He's losing spots, but he's just happy to lose that truck. Now he's got it gathered back in, put his foot in the throttle, and he's going to try to repass Jake Garcia. He'll get it done out of 2.
He gets that spot. Now he's going to mount another charge going into 3. He'll go back down to the bottom of the racetrack. No, out to the outside once again. Can't make the pass. Now Ruggiero's going to come back and take that spot away from him, or Jake Garcia, off a third.
Garcia on the inside, door to door with Corey Day. That's now a fight for third. Corey Heim now closing in as well.
This happens behind our race leader, Ty Majeski, who leads them into turns 1 and 2. About 2 truck lengths back to Tyler Ankrum. Then they're still side by side for third. Jake Garcia on the inside. Corey Day clears them off of turn 2.
Corey Heim loves seeing these guys race hard up there. That's drawing him right into this top 5 battle. Bottom of the racetrack, though. Majeski with the lead by about a car length. Make that 3 car lengths off the 4.
20 laps will be complete this time by the first stage. 30 laps as we go down to pit road and Heather DeBow.
And just want to follow up on what happened there with William Swalich. He came over the radio and said that his truck just stepped out on him. He just got loose and got into the fence and apologized to the team. So they came down for right side tires. They also pulled the fenders on the right and the left side. He's now 2 laps down, so the team has some work to do in getting the free pass to get those laps back.
So far, with 10 laps to go here in stage number 1 of this Craftsman Truck Series race at Las Vegas, Tyler Ankrum has led 14 laps. Tyler Majeski about to lead his 4th. Corey Day has led 3. Here's our rundown. Ty Majeski, your leader, by 0.7 of a second over Tyler Ankrum. Corey Day is 3rd. 4th, Jake Garcia. Corey Heim 5th. 6th is Stuart Friesen. Gio Ruggiero is 7th. 8th, Justin Haley. Chandler Smith 9th. Rajah Caruth in 10th.
Tanner Gray runs 11th. Ben Rhodes is 12th. Dawson Sutton running 13th. 14th is Caden Honeycutt. Bailey Curry 15th. Grant Enfinger 16th. 17th is Matt Crafton. Daniel Hemrick is 18th. Andres Perez de Lara 19th. And 20th is Connor Mozak.
21st, Lane Riggs. Luke Fenhouse is 22nd. 23rd, Jack Wood. Tony Breidinger is 24th. 25th, Matt Mills. Then you have Spencer Boyd in 26th, Josh Rayum 27th, Nathan Bird 28th, Frankie Muniz is 29th, 30th William Sawalich, and Stephen Malazzi currently 31st, the only truck that's off the track.
That leaderboard brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. This tax season is free phone season with Straight Talk. Get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
Stuart Friesen has just worked his way by Jake Garcia, so move him into the top 5. Garcia falling back to number 6.
Corey Heim making a power move on the outside. He's midway down the Nellis straightaway.
Let's see if he can get it done as they enter into turn number 3. Heim working hard on the outside. Now they enter the turn number 4. Off of 4, car slides up just a little bit.
As they come down to the line, 6 laps to go in stage number 1 here at Las Vegas. We keep an eye on that battle as it heads to turn 1.
Yeah, Corey Heim has steadily charged his way towards the front of the field. Now he's trying to catch Corey Day for the 3rd spot. Day still running the high side. Heim will follow him off of turn 2.
Meanwhile, up front, once again, Day with the lead as they work their way. Friesen up the lead as they work Tyler Ankrum about 8 truck lengths back.
A very light mist falling over Las Vegas Motor Speedway now as we're going to have 5 laps to go in stage number 1. Reigning champion Ty Majeski continues to lead.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it, Brad. A light mist. The very, very light sprinkles here in turn number 2. That's not slowing Ty Majeski down any much as now the yellow flag has come out as the leaders go down the backstretch.
Caution number 1 here, Mark, and it looks like that mist is something that might be just a little too risky for these drivers out here, especially as they're about to battle for a stage end.
Again, safety first. If the track has any chance of not being 100% for the drivers, NASCAR has no choice but to throw the yellow flag.
Yeah, we can see a little bit of rain on our windshield here where we are up above the start-finish line. The wind is blowing heavily, and the rain, a little bit of it that's hitting the window, Mark, is hitting this window sideways. So that's telling you how fast it's blowing in and ideally how fast it will blow out. The track is not being saturated with water, but when you get enough of it on the windshield and you get just enough of it on the racetrack, you need to keep these trucks stable and safe, most importantly.
One of the positive things, the wind has picked up, and that will help. We don't have the sun to help us here at night, but the wind might help keep the track dry or drier, and we'll just have to see what happens here.
Yeah, right now we actually have 4 laps to go in stage number 1, and looking at the radar, this is a cell that literally built up right on the leading edge here of Las Vegas Motor Speedway, so it's something that didn't necessarily blow in, it built up, and you can see some low cloud cover here, cooler temperatures. There's certainly not a lot happening with the weather system and everything, Mark, but ideally we don't lose the racetrack, and it's not necessarily enough to start saturating the ground, but it is enough that it could potentially make some things slick out there.
And I'm watching some of the fans, a lot of them haven't even bothered to get up from their seats. They're just kind of waiting it out just like us.
Yeah, it looks like pit road is going to remain closed, this time by with the Toyota GR Super Pace car. We're going to come by, and it is going to be 3 laps to go, so they're going to run this out until the end of the stage before they open up pit road, Mark.
So right now, Ty Majeski, a nice run for him, went up there to take the lead. Pretty big, bold move to do that. As Nick Yeoman talked about, 3 wide going down into the entry of turn number 1. He pops out the leader on the backside.
So, Mark, here's one thing I'm impressed with. Actually, a couple of things. Let's start with Corey Day, all right? He started on the pole. He's running 3rd right now. The one thing that I'm seeing, at least, and maybe we can even survey our turn announcers, Nick Yeoman and Pat Patterson, he has a lot of talent. and he's able to go up there and pass a truck. He's able to go out there and take the lead. What he's not been able to do is hang on to it. So he has the first part that he's learned already in just his 5th Truck Series start. It's the second part. Once you get the lead, you got to keep it.
And he didn't bust his butt when he hung on the door. I believe it was Jake Garcia maybe as they're fighting in 3 and 4. He was on the outside, got right down on his passenger door, which you want to do temporarily to slow somebody down, but you better get off that door real quick or your car's going to get loose. And it got loose, and he just about found the fence. We got away with it, and a lesson learned.
Nick Yeoman up above turns 1 and 2. What are you seeing here in this first stage?
Well, I'm seeing some sprinkles on my glasses right now, but we're hoping those go away. But I think you guys bring up a great point on Corey Day and how there is a lot of learning to be done. He has so little experience in these trucks, and there is a lot of learning to do. And I think he found out down there in turns 3 and 4 what not to do when you go for the race lead as he skated up the racetrack. But he is naturally gifted and very, very talented, so no surprise to see him stay up front. Pat, I think the thing I've been most impressed with is Ty Majeski and just how good that Ford has been for that young man. The champion from a year ago got to the front, and right before we got the caution, that truck was looking very strong, starting to put truck lengths between Ankrum and Day and really controlling the end of this stage.
Yeah, he worked his way right up to the front like you normally would see him do, and they have been awfully fast ever since they unloaded here today. Talking about Corey Day, the interesting thing that I'm impressed with here, with no more laps on a racetrack like this, and Mark and Brad talked about this in the pre-race. This is a really, really fast racetrack, and you take a kid that has just not gotten that many laps, put him on a racetrack like this where you got a lot of wind working tonight, and obviously a lot of adrenaline leading this race up here. I think he's done a great job. You know, like he said, like we talked about, he came very close to turning the thing around coming off of turn number 4, but I think you'll see him battle all the way to the very end of this one, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Pat Patterson. Thank you, Nick Yeoman. Brett McMillan covering the entrance of pit road, including our pole sitter. Brett?
Yeah, Corey Day was talking about the draft for him. He says he's better in turns 1 and 2 than he is in 3 and 4, but he thinks the wind is affecting the ability to have a draft. And what's happening is he says he feels the wind really coming down the front straightaway, but not so much going down the back straightaway. What he says he's getting, though, from Brian Patty, his crew chief, is he's getting a big tailwind coming down the front straightaway, and I can feel the wind as I stand on the entrance to pit road. I can feel it in my back. And now it feels like actually a little more of a crosswind. A few minutes ago, we saw a big bag blow across the track. As a matter of fact, the NASCAR truck had to chase it down as it kept blowing right down the front straightaway. So you can see how strong this wind is, even just standing here on pit road. And I can tell you guys that the little bit of rain that we were getting, a little mist, kind of heavy, like I said, it was more of a heavy mist than anything else. We were seeing it some in the pit stalls, but I'm not seeing it at this point in time.
All right, thank you very much, Brett. Mark, I can say, looking out of our window here, it looks now more like the misty-sized drops as opposed to what were just a handful of raindrops that were splashed across the window.
Now, one thing about Las Vegas, we have a really neat thing to be able to talk about wind, because on the Nellis back straightaway is a big American flagpole, and which direction it's bent in, you can tell that's where the wind is going. And right now it is going from turn 4 down to turn number 1, and you can see it bending, sort of like if you had a fish on the end of a pole, kind of bending that way, back and forth. That's the American flag here, so the wind obviously is picked up. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because it can help keep the racetrack as dry as possible.
Yeah, for sure. So the Toyota GR Supra is pulling the field now through turns 3 and turns 4. This time by, we are going to actually have the end of stage number 1. Ty Majeski, as Nick Yeoman mentioned earlier, won the opening 2 stages of this race last year. He's going to win the opening stage of this race here. Tyler Ankrum will finish second in stage number 1, followed by Corey Day. Corey Heim has moved his way all the way up to the 4th spot. Stuart Friesen will finish stage 1 and 5th. 6th will be Jake Garcia. Justin Haley 7th. 8th, Chandler Smith. Gio Ruggiero will finish 9th, and 10th will be last year's winner, Rajah Caruth. We'll come back. We will stay here. We will have pit stops because pit road is going to open this time by, Mark.
So at this point, we've had 5 stages in 2025, and 5 different drivers have won 1 stage apiece. Ben Rhodes, Matt Crafton, Kyle Busch, Jack Wood, and now Ty Majeski.
Going to be interesting as well to see what happens here, Mark. Remember, we have 60 laps to the end of Stage 2, or lap 60, I should say. So that means 60 laps total between Stage 1 and Stage 2. Do we see any track position play right here? Do you want to save some tires at the end? Now, remember how a lot of these races end, Mark. Races end, Mark.
Tight center exit, so they're going to do an air pressure adjustment to free him up just a little bit. Also in is Corey Heim. He came in from that 4th position. He said he's fired off really good, but he's just a little on the free side. But Justin Haley from that 7th position, he's complaining that his truck is just extremely loose. So adjustments to tighten up Justin Haley.
All right, so the race is now happening off of pit road. We'll get that for you here momentarily as the trucks make their way out. We're also going to have a rundown for you as well. But a lot of pit stops happen. We did have a couple of trucks stay out. William Sawalich is one of those. Remember, he had to pit under green during Stage 1. So once we get a good rundown, we'll be able to pass that along.
Basically, all the players pitted. Bottom line. Everybody pitted.
I would say all of the players pitted as well. We will come back. We're in the Stage 1 break here of the EcoSave 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Imagine a scrapbook filled with all your favorite memories of 75 years at Darlington Raceway. Now imagine that scrapbook going 190 miles per hour.
Have you ever? No, I've never.
You don't have to imagine. You need to get to Darlington, where the drivers of today tackle the track too tough to tame, just like they did your first time. NASCAR Throwback Weekend at Darlington Raceway, April 5th and 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com. Discover South Carolina.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Corey Heim was the first truck off of pit road, but unfortunately, Corey Heim was also speeding coming onto pit road, so he will have to drop to the back. When we come back, we'll give you a full field rundown as we start stage number 2 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing. And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Welcome back to the EcoSave 200, where we just finished up stage 1, and Ty Majeski won that. But I'm going to cover a long stop here for Gio Ruggiero. They actually had a gun break, but also when he came into his pit stall, these drivers need to hold their wheels straight in order for them to correctly change the tires, and that's something that he's learning as a rookie, so that slowed him down. Then, as I mentioned, they had the gun break, so they had to get a new one to be able to replace those tires. Also checking in with the crew chief, Jeremy Donnelly, I noticed that there's some cording on the left front of that race truck. He said he's not too concerned about it right now. He said the cold temperatures could be playing a role. Also, their truck was a little tight. He said, if I see that again on the next stop, then I'll be concerned, so check with me.
All right, thank you very much, Heather. So we are under caution here in the gap between stage number 1 and stage number 2. Field is lined up behind the Toyota GR Super Pace car. We still have a light mist falling here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and looking out beyond turn number 3, it looks like there's the potential for more of that. So what NASCAR is going to do, pit road is closed, but they are going to bring all of the trucks down pit road, bring them past the start-finish line, and park them there. We're going to go under the red flag mark. Once we do that, we can actually give you a full field rundown as to where we are right now with this race and who is running at this point. But right now, they want to make sure they put some drying equipment out there on the racetrack and get things going.
I was just going to say, when you get the cars on pit road, that means they can get to work drying out the racetrack and trying to stay ahead of it the best they can.
Yeah, for sure. So this isn't, at this point, at least, a soaking rain, but it is one that is enough that it is just simply not safe to be able to go back and go racing. So the trucks are coming down pit road to park, and right now Ben Rhodes, a former winner here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, is being shown as your race leader. Tyler Ankrum, who started on the outside pole, is running second. Third is Corey Day. Justin Haley is fourth. Fifth is Ty Majeski. Stuart Friesen is sixth. Seventh is Rajah Caruth. Luke Fenhouse is eighth. Ninth is Dawson Sutton, and 10th is Tanner Gray.
Chandler Smith 11th. 12th is Bailey Curry. Jake Garcia 13th. Matt Crafton 14th. 15th is Daniel Hemrick. Andre Perez, 16th. I'm going to get that right one of these days. Grant Enfinger, 17th. 18th, Caden Honeycutt. Connor Mozak, 19th. 20th, Tony Breidinger.
And running in 21st, Matt Mills. 22nd is Jack Wood. Lane Riggs, 23rd. Giovanni Ruggiero is 24th. 25th is Corey Heim. Again, he got a penalty. That means he's going to have to restart at the back for speeding on pit road. Josh Rayum, 26th. 27th. Spencer Boyd. Frankie Muniz is 28th. 29th, Nathan Bird. 30th is William Sawalich, and Stephen Malazzi is running in 31st. Now, Pat Patterson, he's going to get to a dry place where we have him in turn 4. Well, we just don't want to keep him in the elements. NASCAR is keeping the drivers in the trucks. They said we have not lost the track, but we want to do that. So we'll see what goes on with that.
So far, we have Tyler Ankrum leading 14 laps. Ty Majeski has led 13. Ben Rhodes, 3 under yellow. Then you have Corey Day has led 2 laps. Jake Garcia has led 1. I believe we also got 1 for Corey Heim before he was, of course, knocked back because of the speeding penalty on pit road. As far as the big movers so far, Luke Fenhouse is up 18 positions. Ben Rhodes 14. Tanner Gray up 8. Bailey Curry plus 7. Chandler Smith plus 6. The big losers at this point, Gio Ruggiero minus 16. Jake Garcia minus 10. And Corey Heim minus 9.
Nick Yeoman on top of that billboard in turn number 2. What is it like out there where you sit?
Well, it's cold and it's breezy, and of course a light rain is not helping that at all. The unfortunate thing is it's just kind of been steady over the last 5 or 10 minutes. Again, nothing heavy, nothing to saturate the racetrack, nothing worth putting any type of track drying equipment out there, but it's just enough that, again, it's not safe for these drivers to be out there on it. It is a really nice night, and there's some folks sitting on a little red camper down here in turn number 2. That thing's been set up there for years. I've been seeing those folks coming out. They're braving the elements, too, and having a good time. So, yeah, it's a little chilly, a little cold up here in turn number 2. I'd like to see those trucks back out on the racetrack, but we'll wait it out here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Let's go back down to Heather DeBow.
Here now with the crew chief of the 34 for Lane Riggs, who had to start in the back for this race. So Dylan Capello here with me now. Dylan, how's that race truck working for you guys so far?
Yeah, we're struggling a little bit. You know, we went hoping to cut through the pack a little bit better there and just struggled with being too free and sprinkling a little bit too. So just struggling getting through the pack. Hopefully this adjustment that we just made was better. Didn't have a great pit stop, so we're just trying to get the day turned around still, and know we got a fast truck and showed a lot of speed in practice, so it's there. We just got to tune it in. So
I heard some interesting comments from him on that struggling with the race car and moving through the pack. He said he might actually have to change his underwear after this race. Did you hear that? Was he talking to you?
Yeah, he was talking to me for sure. So we're hoping that we can get that out of his head by the end of this race and turn it into a fast race truck, and maybe he'll forget about that by the end of the night. So we're working hard at it, and hopefully when we get back going, it's a lot better for him and he can make some moves. So,
all right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Heather. Mark, I'm looking at the radar, and I am the eternal optimist, okay? So if you look at it, there's all of this just built up. It didn't blow in, it built up around here.
Well, before you go any farther, you know green is bad on the weather.
I understand that, which is what I'm trying to describe to you.
Yeah,
I'm as much of an amateur as you.
No, I just want to make sure we're on the same page, that's all.
Definitely. All right, so if we're looking at this, you see a green cell north of us, and again, this didn't blow in, it developed. You see a little one south of us, but where we are in the middle of all of this, and again, I'm being optimistic, it's this mist right here. North and south, no good. Where we are now, okay. Where we should get, even better. That's my optimism.
Okay. Glass is half full. I like it.
Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah.
I said that green is good because there was a time years ago a race was lost, and I believe, I'm trying to remember if it was Davey Allison and our Fox crew chief, Larry McReynolds, I believe it was them. They sent a guy over to look, and at the time, there was only one radar was on the NASCAR truck, and they had a little cutout, and you could walk up to the side of the truck, and you could see the radar. So they had a guy monitoring it, and he came back and said, they had the lead, and they didn't know if they wanted to pit. Rain was coming, and so the guy said, we're all good. They pit. Downpour. Right? And Larry Mack said, I thought we were good. He said, man, it showed green. It's just as far as you could see, it showed green.
Okay. Now I get it.
So that's where it came from. I wasn't picking on anybody.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just like, again, it's so much lighter green where we are, and I'm happy. Now, we don't know. Look, Mother Nature gets to decide.
In racing, green is good, right? Now, I would go I'd see a big path of green out there. See that? We're in good shape. It's all green.
You know where green is even better? In Las Vegas. And that's if you win at the casino.
I was just going to say, if you're at the payout window, it's good. Yeah,
exactly. It really has been an interesting opening stage. I do look forward when we get back to green under the green flag. Corey Heim with that penalty, Mark. He ran his way up through the field, got as high as fourth. Obviously, that Toyota team had a great pit stop because he was the first off of pit road. That was more than him speeding at the entrance of pit road. When you jump 4 spots among all of the trucks you're racing with on pit road, you had a lightning fast stop. It's almost unfortunate that he had a penalty.
It was a 1 + 1 = 2, though, as far as that was concerned. But he started 16th, and he looked very comfortable at the end of that stage, meaning the longer the race went, his long run speed was very good. So I suspect when we go back to racing that Corey Heim has yet to be heard from in this race. He'll find a way back. He'll certainly find a way back, I believe.
Yeah, I think so as well. And we just heard from Lane Riggs, crew chief. Obviously, we know he's struggling, and you can see that on the scoreboard as well. He's currently sitting in the 23rd spot right now, but there's opportunity. There's opportunity for him to be able to move forward. And I know, for a very young and talented and winner in this series, he has the talent to do it.
Well, he certainly came on strong last year. 2 wins, 7 top 10s, 7 top 5, 11 top 10s for Front Row Motorsports. This year, he was 13th after he got collected in that final lap wreck at Daytona. He got the Xfinity fastest lap bonus point at Daytona, and then he finished 20th at Atlanta after some mechanical issues. So he's certainly looking for a bounce back tonight.
All right, let's go down to pit road with Heather DeBow.
And speaking of a bounce back, Corey Heim had a speeding penalty before that caution came out. I'm here now with his crew chief, Scott Zipadelli. So, Scott, what did you tell him after that happened, and what kind of mindset do you guys have to switch to now that you have to move back up through the field?
There's not much you could do, really. You just got to go back out and race the racetrack, go where they're not. Hopefully we won't burn a lot of laps here under caution, drying the racetrack, which is probably my biggest concern for us to get back to the top 5 for stage points towards the end of the second stage. But big picture, I think we'll be fine. Truck's got good speed. Was a little bit tight towards the end of that run, so we freed it up some, and just need to get this race going and see what we can do. But I'm not too worried.
Talk to us about the weather and what kind of challenges that's posing for you tonight, because we've got cold, now we have some moisture in there. It's going to change track situations a little bit. So what does that do for you as a crew chief, and as far as making your job harder?
Yeah, the weather's definitely a little interesting here to be in Vegas this time of year and have it rain. You know, it was kind of interesting that the track took rubber as cold as it was, and we felt like we were getting tighter as it laid rubber down. So I'm sure we'll pick all that rubber back up. They'll dry the track. It'll be a little slick for a little bit till we can put some rubber back on it, and hopefully stabilizes after that point and we won't have any kind of issues. But it's definitely challenging, but challenging for everybody. We just got to try to figure out better than they do.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you guys make your way back through the field as soon as we go back green.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Heather DeBow. And that spotlight on Corey Heim and his Toyota team is brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. Mark, they've covered up the trucks here on pit road, and things are starting to look a little bit darker. My optimism might not be paying off for us just yet, but I'm still going to be optimistic. I'm still going to try.
Well, if the glass is half full, it's just filling up now with water. So we'll get it totally full, and we'll be able to go racing again. I think that's how it works. At least I'm trying to stay optimistic as well. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Alongside Brad Gilley, I'm Mark Arrow. Joining us in the turns, Nick Yeoman and Pat Patterson, Heather DeBow, and Brett McMillan on pit road. Our top 10 right now under red: Ben Rhodes, Tyler Ankrum, Corey Day, Justin Haley, Ty Majeski, Stuart Friesen, Rajah Caruth, Luke Fenhouse, Dawson Sutton, and Tanner Gray.
All right, so right now, NASCAR is saying it's raining just a little too hard to fire up the jet trucks. Not that they're afraid of rain, but sometimes it's pointless to burn all of that kerosene when you're not going to make something happen. But we are in a good spot to put the Toyota Tundra track drying team out there and let them blow any water off of the racetrack that might be there. But it's starting to... And when I say heavier, I'm not necessarily talking about the amount of rain. It's just starting to feel heavier out here, if you will, Mark.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. It's just getting heavier out there.
Getting heavier out there. So we have 34 laps complete here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll come back with an update right after this.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the top trucks of NASCAR.
On Thursdays, NASCAR Live goes wide open with some of the biggest names in the sport.
The goal is the same, so the mindset's the same. All right, the goal is to win the championship.
And some familiar voices that you might not have heard from in a while.
You know, I thought about going to one of these teams because I'd really like to win the 500.
I never planned any of this to start with, right from the very beginning.
No matter what driver or what era is your favorite, NASCAR Live Wide Open has every corner of the fan base covered. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Welcome back to the EcoSave 200. We're currently under a red flag condition due to weather, but catching up now with Raja Karuth, last year's defending winner. It's been a little bit of a wild race so far. Where are you at with your race truck?
Yeah, we'll snug that first run, but I felt like I would be good. Like, I just got kind of stuck on that, like, lap 2. I didn't cover my right side when they got through for the lead, and I just kind of went backwards there. So I lost the track position there, so that kind of made the first stage a little worse for us. And then obviously started raining. So balance-wise, I was a little tight, but we worked on it a little bit, and I think picking the rubber up and having a clean racetrack will be pretty interesting. So, yeah.
So what can you do under this rain delay that we have here? What are you going to do? Are you going to be looking at anything or focusing on anything to kind of put in your head as we go green later?
Depends how hard it's raining. To be honest, I'm no meteorologist, but the track's wet right now, and it's a mile and a half, so it probably won't dry in the quickest fashion. So we'll see. I don't know.
I think you did a pretty good job for a part-time meteorologist there.
Yeah. Like I said, the track's wet. It's not really humid, so that may help for drying the track. It's my guess, just because, like, I don't know, if it was like Daytona or Homestead or like Darlington with how humid it was, without the sun out, it'd probably take longer to dry one of those tracks. But since it's cold in the desert, it may dry quick. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, I think you did a great job analyzing that weather there, Raja, and best of luck to you when we go green again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. I like his, again, optimism, but one thing he brings up is a really good point, Mark. It's not very humid out, even though it's raining. And Nick Yeoman, by the way, tells us that currently there is no precipitation coming in turns 1 and 2. So let's go down to Brett McMillan with more from some of our drivers.
Tyler Ankrum out, walking down pit road now. All right, good first run for you. Nice start. I know that you felt like the car kind of went the wrong direction, or the truck went the wrong direction after the early parts, but you made some changes.
Yeah, no, we just did a slight round with the track bar, just getting too tight on exit there. I don't feel like that's enough for an aero adjustment yet. But yeah, no, just started getting too tight there, like racing real hard with the 7, just started getting too tight for me and had to start breathing a little bit. I feel like there at the end, before the caution came out, I was running the 98 back down, gave some time for my tires to pull back off and build some air to that right rear. So we're going to see what happens when we go back green here. You're going to lose a lot of rubber. Track's going to free up a lot probably until it builds the rubber back in. So probably track conditions fixed themselves for me. So we'll think we'll be good for the second stage.
Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's Tyler Ankrum. Ankrum currently running in the second spot after being the second-place finisher a year ago.
Again, he's been very strong. He's been very consistent. He just needs that one more spot to grab another trophy. We know how well he does, Mark, when it comes to intermediate tracks. His win came at Kentucky Speedway, where he was able to do just that. So listening to NASCAR, they're not feeling like they lost the track, and that's an important thing. They're feeling like we can stay ahead of this, what we're seeing right now. And truthfully, looking out of the window, it actually looks like things are sort of opening up, like in a good way, not opening up in a bad way. But Nick Yeoman up there in 1 and 2, what are you seeing now?
Yeah, it's so difficult, Brad, because under the lights here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the track always looks shiny, right? Because it's so lit up and looks nice down here. But it does appear, from at least my vantage point, the asphalt's a little bit of a darker shade. The optimism, though, here in turn number 2 is that there is no rain falling from the sky right now, and it hasn't for about the last 5 or 6 minutes. So I think we're getting a lot closer to at least getting this track drying if it needs to be dried completely. But I think NASCAR's in a really, really tough spot right now, and of course they're going to err on the side of safety. But from my vantage point, it looks like it's a little bit darker from all the precipitation that's fallen here over the last half hour, but I don't think it's going to take much to get the track dried if they throw those track dryers out there.
And on the plus side, we have no rain in turn 2, and the Toyota track drying team is now coming onto the racetrack. So NASCAR must feel like, okay, the precipitation has passed. Now it's time to go to work getting the track race ready.
Yeah, and the rules for NASCAR, by the way, when it comes to rain and something being an official race, it's either the end of Stage 2, which today happens to be lap 60, or the halfway point, whichever comes first. The end of Stage 2 comes first in this 134-lap race because the end of lap 60 is not quite halfway, but that would be an official race if we can get to the end of Stage 2. I want to see us get all the way to lap 134 if not even a little bit of overtime, because what we saw in the first 30 laps, Mark, was incredibly exciting.
That 3-wide pass for Ty Majeski to take the lead was certainly at the top of the leaderboard there. And again, these trucks, I've always been fascinated by this series because you have the blend of young and veteran drivers that, are trying to prove something, like trying to move up the ladder, and that mix always makes for some great racing. And right now out front, Ben Rhodes. And Rhodes, of course, a former champion of the series. And it's hard for me to believe it's been 36 races since his last win. And he's a guy that's won here before. He won in 2017 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But it's surprising, as good as he is, as consistent as he is, for him to go that long without a trip to victory lane. So you never know. Tonight might be the night.
I would agree. A completely winless season. Let's go back down to pit road and Heather DeBow.
And checking in now with Grant Infinger. You just finished talking with your crew chief, Jeff Sinkowitz. So what are your thoughts so far on this race here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, if you look at the leaderboard, it doesn't look that great for our Champion Power Equipment Chevy right now. But honestly, this is a new package for us, something we're working on, and I felt like there was a lot of promise in there. We were coming on really strong at the end of that stage, but before the caution came out, we had some really quick lap times. Balance-wise, we over-adjusted a little bit from practice. We were a little tight in practice. We fired off the race pretty loose. Built to where it was manageable at the end, just too loose to fire off really good. So we made a little adjustment on that pit stop and ready to get back out racing. I guess I'm optimistic we're getting back out there tonight, but just that cool wind, track temperatures are down, and the grip is really, really high out there right now.
You said it was manageable before this red flag that we're under. So what can you expect the truck's going to do when you go back out there? Do you think it's going to change all over again? You guys are going to have to reset on the setup?
I would anticipate just more grip with a clean track and cooler temperatures as the night goes on. I would anticipate more grip, but also more tire wear with that. So once, which I don't know if we've all the way lost the track, but if we do and it washes the rubber away, I'd say we'd have a little bit more tire wear there. Like I said, our Champion Power Equipment Chevy was really good on tire wear, but I know some of the field they had fallen off about a second, it looked like. So, yeah, we're hoping for some long green rims.
Thank you, Grant.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Heather. So, Mark, I got another report from elsewhere on the property here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. If you've never been to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the 1.5-mile super speedway is just one of many racetracks that we have here. There is an off-road course. There are a couple of road courses here. There is the drag strip, the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which also, like Charlotte's Z-Max Dragway, hosts a 4-wide nationals. There is the 3/8-mile asphalt track, the Bull Ring, where the Busch brothers, Kyle and Kurt Busch, cut their teeth, and there is the dirt track, which was very active last night with the High Limit Sprint Car Series, which is owned by Kyle Larson and his brother-in-law Brad Sweet. Kent Nelson, who is the assistant general manager at Texas Motor Speedway, he's over at the dirt track because at Texas coming up on May 1st and May 3rd, they're going to have a couple of nights of high limit racing at the dirt track at Texas as well. But he tells us it was sprinkling a little bit at the dirt track, but I believe Kenton is just as optimistic. So thank you, Kenton, and we're going to make sure we send everyone to Texas Motor Speedway May 1st through 4th for a big Fiesta Cinco de Mayo triple-header NASCAR weekend, which will also include great racing at the 4/10 mile dirt track.
If you're a race fan, you can be a real junkie Texas Motor Speedway weekend, right? Big track, dirt track, you can really get all the racing you want. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
Well, here Tom Majeski, and we didn't see this one coming, did we?
No, rain in the desert. Here we are. Yeah, it was like, I'm from Wisconsin, it's like 70 up there today, and we're, like 40 here, so in rain. But yeah, really good truck, good first stage for us, fast Soda Sense Ford F-150, and yeah, excited to get the rest of the race going tonight.
As you talked about, you had a good first run in the first stage. How do you anticipate the track's going to change now?
I don't know. We were on a green track earlier today, so I really don't foresee it, changing too much. So it's so cold. It's hard for the track to go through too many transitions when it's this cold out. So, yeah, hopefully the balance stays close. At least I hope the track doesn't change much. Yeah, just see what happens. Feel good about it. Our truck definitely is good on the long run, so hopefully we get some longer runs going in the race and try and keep the field a little separated out front.
I appreciate your time. Good luck rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's go to Heather DeBow.
And here now with Bailey Curry running in the 12th position currently, but obviously not on track at this moment. So you're here talking to your crew guys. What kind of conversations are you having when you have to kill time like this as we await track drying?
Well, you usually start out with, how's the truck, what do you need, things like that. I wish I would have made this move, but...
Well, what was your response to that?
I mean, I was like, truck's pretty good. I was like, there's one thing I might have done different, but now they're talking about where we might be going to dinner tonight, which I hope isn't the case. I hope wherever we're going is in Mooresville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Well, what is up on the dinner docket, just for myself, because I'm going to be here the rest of the weekend. Maybe you have a good suggestion for a restaurant?
Well, we went to a pretty sweet buffet at Caesars last night. Anything you want, they got it.
That sounds really delicious. Now, I heard you also have had a chance to run a little bit of dirt racing in a dirt late model recently. What did you think about that?
It's awesome. You know, I don't have a whole lot of dirt experience. I got a little bit. It's just one of those disciplines I've always wanted to work at and get good at. You know, I really respect the dirt racers out there and what they can do and the talent they have. So just trying to learn what I can and get better at it, because, I mean, at the end of the day, I want to go win races in that too.
Just remember, turn right to go left.
That's right.
All right. That's Bailey Curley, who will be out on track here shortly.
All right. Thank you, Heather. Mark, I'm feeling better about my optimism, by the way.
Okay.
And we're seeing it in front of us.
Right now, honestly, the track graying without the benefit of the track drying crew getting there yet, turns 1 and 2, you can see, again, there's a very heavy wind. It's blowing from over the top of turns 3 and 4 towards that turn 1, and that wind has certainly helped dry the racetrack, because you can see it's gone from black to gray.
Yeah, looking at the weather radar as well, what built up seems to be breaking up as well, and that's a good thing. And seeing images from down on pit road and all of that. In fact, let's survey our pit reporters. Brett McMillan, I'll start with you, and you can toss it over to Heather. What are you feeling down trackside right now?
Nothing right now as far as coming out of the sky. Just cold right now and a little bit of a wind right now, Brad. So, you know, I'm optimistic as well. As I look out of the track, I see it grayed up pretty well, and pit road itself is pretty gray at this point in time. Heather, what are you seeing?
Well, right now it's not sprinkling like it was earlier. I do see like a short little mist coming down, but just wind. Wind is the biggest thing, and we've talked to the drivers about it, how challenging it is out on the racetrack. But even when you're standing on pit road, I've been trying to find areas to hide from the elements, because in my opinion, I think wind is the worst element we deal with out here in racing.
Thank you very much, Brett. Thank you very much, Heather. We appreciate that. So where we sit right now, just to catch you up, is we are under the red flag. Stage 1 is complete here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Ben Rhodes is currently your race leader, and Ben Rhodes is leading Tyler Ankrum, Corey Day, Justin Haley, Ty Majeski, the top 5. 6 is Stuart Friesen. 7th is Rajah Caruth. Luke Fenhouse is 8th. Dawson Sutton is 9th. Tanner Gray is 10th. That's the way they came off of pit road after their pit stops at the end of Stage 1.
And then Chandler Smith, 11th, Bailey Curry in 12th, 13th, Jake Garcia, Matt Crafton, 14th, 15th, Daniel Hemrick, Andre Perez is 16th, 17th, Grant Enfinger, Caden Honeycutt is 18th, Connor Mozak, 19th, 20th, Tony Breitinger.
Running in 21st is Matt Mills, Jack Wood in 22nd, Lane Riggs 23rd, Gio Ruggiero is running 24th, Corey Heim, a speeding penalty on pit road. He comes out 25th now. Josh Rayum is 26th, Spencer Boyd 27th, Frankie Muniz 28th, Nathan Bird 29th. William Sawalik got into the wall in turn number 4 during Stage 1, had to make a green flag pit stop to actually come down and take right side tires. That's why he's in 30th. And Stephen Malazzi, 25 laps down, he is sitting in 31st. Heather DeBow, let's go down to her.
All right, we're here now with Lane Riggs, who I talked to your crew chief earlier because I told him that I heard on the radio how you said you might have to change your shorts later. So talk about the sketchy situations you might have been in, running in the pack, passing traffic, and everything that you were handling with that steering wheel in your hands.
Yeah, the truck took a massive balance swing. I mean, according to Dylan, too, everybody in the field says they're super loose right now. I felt like I was pretty good in practice, if anything, just a little bit on the tight side. And we show up to the race right here. The track sped up because we're in the draft. It's so cold out. It's like it got so cold that it almost it feels like ice, like iced over, like frosted over on top. It's just super, super slick. So, just going as fast as we were. I mean, we were banging the rev limiter going into both corners in the pack, and then just go in the corner and you feel like you have no grip, just trying to hang on to it. I had a couple moments, but I'm glad that I kept it up under me. I saw several people around me tag the wall and get damage. You're just losing it. So glad that I was able to stay smart, just run my laps and get to the end of the first stage. We made some pretty big swings right here. it's so loose that I can't tell them how much to tighten it up. So we're going to see what it does. Might have to make a couple more pit stops to get it how we want it. But I said at the end of the day, just try to finish the best we can. We don't have much track position, and we're already a third of the way through the race. But just be smart here and finish strong.
Now, it's always challenging coming from the back, but for you, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you like that? Do you like that type of challenge or no?
I like it when I know we have the truck to do it, and starting the race in the tail due to a mechanical issue had to fix after qualifying. I was fully confident that I was going to be able to drive right to the front like everybody else, and I passed about 2 or 3 on the first lap, and then I kind of stalled out right there, and that's all I had. It was a handful and screaming on the radio, just need to just finish the stage up so we can make some adjustments on it. But glad that I saved it, glad that I held on to the end of the stage with no damage, and my crew can now work on it and try to get it better. So I'm just hopeful that they'll make the right adjustments.
Well, thank you so much for your insight on what you were dealing with that handful of a race truck you got right now.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. No, I said I hope we can get back racing here in a minute. It's very odd saying it's raining in Las Vegas.
Right, totally odd. Guys?
Yeah, it really is. Mark, yesterday, I live in Wise County, Texas. I left DFW Airport, and it was nice and warm. I kind of looked funny having a sweater on, but I knew it was cold here. About 20 degrees warmer in Texas than coming out to the desert. For you, and near Welcome, North Carolina, similar situation?
Yeah, it was a nice day, and it's even nicer today, they say. And it is. They say it never rains in Southern California. Well, it usually never rains in Nevada either, but here we are.
Yeah, but you get a little bit. All right, so give you a quick update. I'm monitoring NASCAR with everything that they're saying. The Toyota Tundra track drying team, they're up in turns 1 and 2 right now. Now they're bringing the jet dryers out. They're going to line them up in turn number 4, and they're going to make a lap around the racetrack. Everyone is optimistic that we're going to get this dry shortly, and we're going to get this EcoSave 200 back underway. We are keeping it here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but in our pre-race show, we're celebrating 30 years of racing in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 1995, the inaugural season, Mike Skinner won that first championship. 1996, when Las Vegas Motor Speedway opened, the Craftsman Truck Series came to race here, and they've been racing here ever since. Here is a celebration of 30 years of Truck Series racing at Las Vegas.
The world of NASCAR has plenty of milestones to celebrate in the year 2025. The Wood brothers are in their landmark 75th year in the sport, and Jimmy Johnson will make his 700th career NASCAR Cup Series start this May. But the season also marks the 30th year of NASCAR racing at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. One series got things started and has been a huge part of the track's history ever since. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The inaugural race was held on November 3rd, 1996, and saw 61 trucks attempt to qualify for 40 spots. Among the names in the field were future Hall of Famers Bill Elliott and Darrell Waltrip, as well as Daytona 500 winners Jeff Bodine and Michael Waltrip. But ultimately, it was one of the faces of the Truck Series that drove to victory lane.
Here comes Sprague down the middle line now, trying to block Bill Elliott. Joe Ruttman in third, Mike Waltrip in fourth.
Coming down for the checkered flag off turn number 4. Elliott's not going to be able to catch him. Jack Sprague comes across the line, wins his 5th NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race of the year. Second is Bill Elliott.
Jack Sprague won the first race at a track that would become synonymous with the Truck Series. Las Vegas became an annual stop on the NASCAR schedule, granting opportunities for natives to race in their home state. In 2003, one of those native sons secured what is arguably the biggest victory of his career.
Sprague pedaling hard down the back straightaway, trying to catch Brendan Gaughan. Who's behind it does not matter. Gaughan into turn number 3. He's going to let his truck go up the banking. Sprague's going to follow in his tire tracks. Sprague gets even wider. Here comes David Starr for second.
Sprague pushed too hard. He slides up the banking. David Starr takes second position away. But your winner tonight is Brendan Gaughan. The 5th win of the year. Brendan Gaughan wins in his own backyard at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Brendan Gaughan, it's Las Vegas, and you're in victory lane.
Las Vegas, Nevada, thank you for coming out. Thank you, Las Vegas! Woo!
Brendan Gaughan, who has always called Las Vegas, Nevada home with deep family ties in the city, had a career that spanned all 3 of NASCAR's top series. But the win in the 2003 Las Vegas 350 was the only time Gaughan claimed victory at his home track. Memorable moments have made the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Las Vegas special. The racing has always been top-notch, probably never more so than a 2008 thriller between Mike Skinner and Eric Darnell.
Darnell tried some high side momentum, hoping that would get him down to the inside. Skinner has got him covered. Puts that Toyota to the bottom white line. Darnell to the outside. They battle side by side off of 4.
Both trucks sideways off 4. Darnell to the outside. Here they come. They're crashing in the back at the line. Mike Skinner wins it. Skinner wins it by 2/100ths of a second.
No story about Las Vegas and NASCAR is complete without the Busch brothers. It should come as no surprise that the winningest driver in the history of the series also has the most victories in a truck at Vegas.
Kyle Busch pulls away, and Kyle Busch, the Las Vegas native, wins his very first truck race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. As far as Kyle Busch was concerned, this was a foregone conclusion. The hometown hero, Kyle Busch, will cross the stripe and win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
He will win his 7th consecutive start in this series, and he will capture the Strat 200 for the 3rd straight year. Kyle Busch flashes across the line and takes the checkered flag. He started at the front of the field. He will finish at the front of the field. Welcome home to Las Vegas. Kyle Busch has won the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Operating for 3 decades, Las Vegas has seen its fair share of superstars and breakthrough moments. In 2024, the fans saw another.
Into turn number 3, Rajah Caruth comfortably works his way through the corner.
What a moment this is going to be for this young man. Rajah Caruth brings it off of turn 4, up through the front stretch, looking for the checkered flag, and he takes it. Rajah Caruth wins at Las Vegas, his very first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series victory.
The victory in 2024 for Rajah Caruth was his first, and one that many believe could open the floodgates for the young driver. This weekend, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series will kick off the 30th year of racing at a place that holds a special spot in the hearts of fans and competitors, Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Well, thank you very much to the great folks there with the Motor Racing Network, with the NASCAR Racing Network for putting that together. And Susie Armstrong, just a fantastic job narrating that. A couple of updates there, drying the track with the jet dryers. The front straightaway in front of us looks dry, but we do have a 1.5-mile ribbon of asphalt. They have already told one of the jet dryers, they call it the downdraft, that we're going to need you to go back down pit road to start to dry that. That's one of the last things they do before we go to racing. Here at Vegas, if you're going to the high limit race on the dirt track, tonight is postponed until after Xfinity tomorrow, because this race is extended tonight. They postpone high limit racing until tomorrow after Xfinity. Let's go down to Brett McMillan on pit road.
I'm here with Stuart Freeze, and we're just talking. We didn't see this rain coming. We knew the cold was going to be here, but this is a little bit of a surprise, and this break in the middle of the race is that ever a good thing for a driver?
No, not really. You know, that Halmar TRD Pro 52 is pretty good. I just kind of botched the initial start, tried to get up in the outside line and let Ty get to my right rear, and we got in the middle and went backwards, but we were able to claw our way back forward pretty good and have a really good piece. So, no, I wish we were slow there finishing it up, trying to catch a red eye home to run the modified at Port Royal tomorrow. So Jess is there, and the dirt guys are all watching and listening, and we're looking at some alternative measures now, but hopefully we can still make it back for Port tomorrow, and more importantly, have a really good run tonight.
How much do you anticipate the track's going to change with the rain?
Well, I think, it's laying down a lot of rubber, which is a little bit interesting, and then a bunch of it cleaned off there when we were just riding around in the rain before we came to pit road. So it's going to be a little bit greener and fresher and probably a little bit more grippy to fire off here, and then rubber back in probably pretty quickly. So like I said, our truck's pretty good. We're talking about a couple things that we can do on the next stop and last stop, obviously, to put ourselves in a little bit better position to win. But no, it's all good. We're fast and maneuverable, and got a good look at the front. So thanks to all my guys, everybody at Halmar, everybody at Mohawk Northeast for being on board with us and keeping us going up and down the road. And hopefully we can get this in tonight and get back on the road.
Well, good luck tonight, and for all of our sakes, we hope you make the red eye.
Yeah, thank you. It's an 11 p.m., so I don't know. We got to get started here pretty quick.
Sounds good. All right, let's go to Head of the Bow.
And here now with Justin Haley, driver of the 07 for Spire Motorsports. He's looking at his radar here, and what are you seeing? You want to play meteorologist for us?
No, I'm quite fine. It does say it's going to rain in 24 minutes on this one, and the other one shows snow. So none of them show anything good. But, yeah, I didn't know it was going to rain tonight. You didn't know it was going to rain tonight. I don't think any of us did, but here we are.
Well, tell us about your race truck. I know that you fired off loose, but how was it before we came under caution here?
Yeah, we were fine. We built to a good place there and started making up some track position. So, yeah, just trying to get back used to the truck. It's been, obviously a long time besides Daytona. So, trying to figure it out. I feel like I'm going back to school again. These things are so much different than a Cup car. So, yeah, I think we're fast. Obviously, we've got a good truck and been in the top 5 all night. Just got to keep it there.
Elaborate a little bit more on the changes. Like, what exactly are you speaking of when you talk about how different these trucks are?
Well, I feel like they have half the horsepower and twice as much side force and down force. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what I feel like. So, yeah, and obviously the tire's different too. The sidewall on the tire here is much larger than the Cup car. So, yeah, just everything about it, the way you make runs and recover. And then also the people you're racing against too, right? Like we in the Cup Series race against each other every week, and we kind of all know each other and what to expect. And, I don't know a lot of these other racers out here in the Truck Series. I don't know what to expect from certain people. So there's that, and then also the race is half the length of a Cup race. So, yeah, although tonight I think with all the rain delays, it'll probably be the same time allotment as a Cup race. But, yeah, just trying to have fun with it.
Well, yes, we look forward to you having fun out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Mark, I'm going to take my full glass and give it to Justin Haley because his was a little bit empty. Ours is not, however, because we're hearing the track is coming in a lot quicker than what we expected, which is a good thing.
He said snow.
We've had a stoppage in an Xfinity race to snow here before.
Yeah, snow. It's so weird because if you look out the back, we got some high mountains here, right? And at the top, no matter what the weather is, no matter how hot it is here, there's always a little bit of white stuff on the top there. So that. But actually snowing again? Wow.
I think
and we've had that dirt rain thing, the haboob. We've had one of those.
We did have a big dirt storm come through.
And that's a real term, by the way. That is a weather term. I have to get it in every time.
I thought we were going to go a whole race weekend. Doug Rice is actually here in Las Vegas. I'm sure he's proud to have heard that as well. In fact, we probably should have laid a wager on it because we're in Vegas.
There you go. 100%. If I'd known that, I'd have bet on it.
I would have set you up for it. But it's great. So the jet dryers are out there in turn number 2 right now, about to hit the back straightaway. What they call their downdraft jet is going to make a U-turn there and then take the acceleration lane, which is the apron in 1 and 2. What would be the exit of pit road? We're under green. The trucks would be accelerating to get back up to speed. He's going to come down. That truck is going to come down, dry the acceleration lane, continue on the wrong way down pit road, and get pit road dry. But Mark, right in front of us, I mean, the front straightaway is dry.
I want to be a guy where it is half full, the glass, right? But you're doing a wonderful play-by-play of track drying. It's just, that truck's passing this one, that's a U-turn, so. All right, I guess we're getting in form. We're getting in practice. We are going racing again here real soon.
We are going racing again here real soon. So far this season, Corey Heim was able to come out with a big win at Daytona. Big congratulations to him. That allowed them to try some fuel mileage strategy at Atlanta. It didn't work, unfortunately. Our Atlanta winner, however, was Kyle Busch. He is not racing here tonight. So,
remember, goes for them.
Right. Well, you never know. A lot of tough trucks out there right now. Could Ben Rhodes, a former Las Vegas winner, make it back to victory lane? Could Tyler Ankrum make it back to victory lane? In how many races, Mark? Was it over 120?
126.
126 races for him. Corey Day, he's running in third right now, and it's been so much fun to watch him learn on the racetrack because, again, he can go up there and pass other trucks. What he's not been able to do is just hang on to that lead. He's got to figure out, okay, when I make the pass, how do I keep it? It's traded back and forth, but it's been very thrilling to watch, and you can see the amazing amount amount of talent that he has behind the wheel of one of these trucks as well. And now he doesn't have to worry about making it over to the dirt track for the high limit race, because that is postponed until tomorrow after the Xfinity race.
Again, the bottom line, he has more experience on dirt than he does asphalt, and he's over here on a 1.5-mile track that is blistering fast in this Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So he has certainly been impressive here early on. Ty Majeski, of course, is the reigning Craftsman Truck Series champion. He's taken the lead. Stuart Friesen, he took 63 races to win his first Craftsman Truck Series race. He's now gone 62, so I guess that number 63 is kind of in the mix. He could be in there and maybe win tonight. And those stats coming from Seth Eggert, who is one of these guys that's out there, always keeps close track of numbers. So he was able to give me that one, which was kind of cool.
Well, I don't think Stewie wants to go 63 again. I think he'd like to cap that at 62.
Yeah.
Homestead Miami Speedway next weekend. It's going to be another triple header for NASCAR. That is an amazingly competitive racetrack. The Motor Racing Network, as well as the NASCAR Racing Network, will have full coverage from Homestead Miami. And Todd Gordon, a former championship-winning crew chief, he won the title in 2018 with Joey Logano, won the Pennzoil 400 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway with Joey Logano. He's part of the MRN crew. Homestead is by far his favorite track. He has a big push going on right now. Buy your tickets for Homestead. He wants to see the championship go back there, but I can't wait to hear him as a part of that crew, because that's a very dynamic racetrack. But that'll be the next one for the Craftsman Truck Series. Going back to Stuart Friesen, he wants to cover that win here tonight and not wait until next week.
And he's got to catch that plane. So he'll if he wins, he'll do the fastest victory lane interview of all time to try to make the red eye. And, you know, Stuart Friesen isn't just a dirt racer. He's one of the very best they have up there in the Northeast in the modifieds. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, midweek show at Malta, up in Malta, New York. They got a beautiful dirt track up there. Great folks that run it. And so I bopped over there while I was in Vermont, jumped over there. It's about an hour or so away. And just to watch him run dirt, man, woo! You know, then he jumps in the Craftsman Truck Series right at home on the big tracks, on the asphalt as well. Very talented guy. I think he's very underrated, quite frankly. I think Stuart Friesen's one of those guys that can jump in a lot of stuff and go fast. I think he's a little bit underrated.
Yeah, his wife Jessica can also.
She's not too shabby either. Yeah,
she's a good racer. All right, Laura Beth just pointed out to us, our director, Laura Beth Barnhart, race officials are now starting to walk back out to the trucks. They have not yet called the drivers, but we feel that's imminent. The jet dryers are now going into turn 3. So, Nick Yeoman, that means they're past your position in turns 1 and 2. What does the racetrack look like to you out there?
It looks significantly lighter in shade than it did maybe a half hour ago. Yeah, that Toyota track drying crew has come through turn number 2 twice now, and both times it has helped quite a bit. The jet dryers obviously have been out there as well, but you can just tell the asphalt, it is a significantly lighter color, and the shine has been polished off of the racetrack. So obviously, you know, you heard from some of the drivers, they're concerned about the track taking rubber now that it's been washed off and what that is going to mean for the racing. But the best news of all is that it looks like we're going to get close to having racing once again here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, because all the way around turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway, it looks a significantly lighter color. So I'm pretty optimistic with you guys. And Brad, during this rain delay, I checked in with the South Point Sportsbook and Casino, and they set the betting odds that Mark would bring up that mudstorm at minus 100,000. And for those that don't know how gambling works, that means a $100 bet would win you pennies. So I'm not sure that jackpot's enough to retire on. But good news is we're all going to get to watch some racing tonight.
That means it was a guarantee, according to the sports book, that Mark Garrow would bring up the weather phenomenon known as Henapoob.
So we used to have a deal where Laura Beth, our race producer, would give us a word to say, try to work into the race, some kind of weird kind of word that would take a little bit. And it got to the point where Doug Rice and I would just simply blurt it out as the first thing, just kind of cheating. So that's kind of guaranteed, just like bringing in that. And that is a desert storm, right? That's the name of the desert storm, when you have a little bit of rain and dirt and turns into mud and it's flying around.
Again, I'm an amateur. I don't want to be inaccurate about that, but I will believe you because I witnessed it from up here. We all hid inside of the media center. Here's the great news. We're seeing like a lot of bright colored clothing walking back to trucks. And that bright colored clothing are the driving suits of these athletes, the tough men and women who are competing in this EcoSave 200.
And the dark truck covers, caught myself there, dark truck covers are coming off, and now the bright paint schemes are coming out as well. We're about to go racing again. And by the way, we had 2 jet dryers drag racing down pit road, the opposite direction at about 30 miles an hour, and it was a dead heat. That's all. I'll report my last play-by-play for that.
I like that. And truthfully, the racetrack looks really good right now. There are a couple of indicators, especially when you're up here. When the track darkens, the asphalt darkens, you can tell it's getting wet. But the painted portions of the racetrack, for example, they have the Pennzoil logos painted right on the inside of the front straightaway. The start-finish line has 2 pairs of dice that are on either side of the start-finish line. When things are wet, you see those shine because that becomes more of a glossy surface, Mark, and I'm not seeing any shine. I'm just seeing some perfectly painted sponsor logos here on the racetrack.
Another positive sign, the fans, after taking a little bit of cover, maybe got something to eat, something to drink, they're coming back into the grandstands as well.
Yeah, Laura Beth and I, before the race started, we went out to one of the food trucks out there and had some amazing pizza. I'm just saying, there's a lot of great things out there, that being one of those, Mark.
All right, so again, we're under a rain delay after what was going to be an exciting finish to Stage 1. Unfortunately, it happened under yellow as we had a little bit of precipitation come down. And again, it never was really any kind of heavy rain or a downpour. It was basically a mist. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be this close to restarting the race again. And so I'm very optimistic that we're going to be racing here very soon, and that means we should see a great race because we saw great racing in that opening stage.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning of the race weekend here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Be sure and tune in tomorrow because we have a couple of big events right on the Performance Racing Network. Tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern Time. That would be 10:30 local in Las Vegas. 1:30 Eastern Time, you will hear Cup Series practice and qualifying as they prepare for the Pennzoil 400. Following that, it will be the Liuna NASCAR Xfinity Series race. PRN goes on the air 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 o'clock local time for the Liuna. That's going to be a 300-mile, 200-lap event tomorrow here at Las Vegas. Then Sunday, it is the Pennzoil 400, 2:30 Eastern Time. That means you have to get up a little bit earlier on Sunday, Mark, because we go on the air for the NASCAR Cup Series race locally at 11:30, the Pennzoil 400. Very, very exciting, and we're seeing drivers getting strapped back into those pickup trucks.
Yep, they are now getting ready to go back to work, and if you missed it earlier, I had it here for a second. They're qualifying for the Liuna Xfinity Series race. All junior motorsports basically up front. Sammy Smith wins the pole position in the Pilot Chevrolet. Carson Quapple second. Connor Zilich qualified third. Fourth was Taylor Gray. Sam Mayer fifth. Justin Allgaier sixth. So that is 4 junior motorsports Chevrolet top 6. The rest of the top 10, Jesse Love, William Sawalich, Nick Sanchez, and Jeb Burton.
The Elgin Sweeper is pulling off the front straightaway at the cutout at the entrance of pit road, and it's going back to its parking space. That's a good thing. We have jet dryers now coming out of turn number 4, and right now they're honestly not drying the racetrack right now. They're drying the entrance of pit road, and anytime you see pit road starting to become dried by safety equipment, that means the racetrack is in good shape.
All right, it's the last thing you talked about. They had to do the exit of pit road. Now they're doing the entry to pit road, and so we're getting ever closer to restarting this race. And again, if you just joined us, we are under a red flag after some light precipitation came down just towards the end of stage number 1 of this Craftsman Truck Series race. To this point, Tyler Ankrum has led 14 laps, Ty Majeski 13, Ben Rhodes 3, Corey Day 2. Jake Garcia also has been a lap leader along with Corey Heim.
Yeah, and look, the opening 30 laps, or 25 laps before we went under caution, was wildly exciting. Mark just listed the leaders of this race. There were way more lead changes happening on this racetrack. Corey Day might have led this race 5 different times. He just didn't do it all at the start-finish line.
It was really interesting how the lead battle kept gathering up trucks. You had a 3-car breakaway, then you'd go back 6 or 7 truck lengths to 2 more trucks, and then you'd go 6 or more to 2 more trucks. And by the time we got to the end of that stage, you had those 7 trucks are all wadded up together and running at the front. So it was kind of fun to see how that rubber band expanded and then stretched right back together again.
Yeah, it is for sure. So what we're seeing here on the in-house feeds, drivers are getting strapped back into their pickup trucks. In fact, Ty Majeski's hopping into his Ford F-150, getting
getting buckled up and getting ready to go back out there. We've seen other drivers doing the same, and from where we stand here right now, Mark, I don't know that I see a single driver out of his or her race truck right now. So that means they're all getting in, getting strapped in. We'll let you know when they get the engines refired here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Exciting times.
I wonder if it was enough of a rain delay that some of these guys maybe had a chance to eat. It doesn't feel like it was long enough. You know, a lot of times they might watch a favorite TV show, or they might do one of their video games. It doesn't feel like it was that long they could get settled in like that. But maybe a couple of guys might have taken the chance to maybe take in some protein, if you will.
I'm just wondering how many of these drivers might consider installing like an Xbox or a PlayStation on the pit box for a delay like this that wouldn't necessarily bring them back to the team hauler, that they could just stand on pit road and pass some of the time. Maybe we could do that. We could just get some sort of race simulators going during a rain delay.
Or what about one of those like Warcraft games or something, and have all the drivers kind of hooked in it together, and maybe they can like battle it out during the rain delay as a group, you know, just having some fun play as one big team.
I think
go conquer some, you know, castle or something.
We might be on to something here, some type of simulation, whether it's a race simulation or, to your point, a fantasy simulation, Mark, and maybe we could just call that kind of play-by-play during a rain delay. We're going to workshop that one.
I mean, those drivers, they like to race things, right? They like to go fast, but they like to blow things up, too. I got a feeling.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Jet dryers are crossing the start-finish line right now, and it's sounding like they're going to get back to the exit of pit road before getting things turned back in and getting back to where they typically stage those. I'm sure they might stop by the fuel truck and dump a handful more gallons of kerosene back in there. Ideally, we don't need it again until after the race, when they're just going to blow all the rubber off the racetrack and get it clean for Cup qualifying tomorrow morning.
So at this point, as I'm looking at the rundown right now, I think when we restart this race, it'll be interesting to watch a couple of guys who have shown they've got fast trucks, maybe come from the back pretty quick. Should be interesting. Corey Heim after the pit road penalty. Gio Ruggiero after he had problems on pit road. Those cars very solid in the top 10 during stage one. Definitely passed a lot of trucks, so it'll be interesting to see them try to safely make their way back to the front of the pack.
Yeah, we have fast trucks that are in the back of the pack right now. As Mark mentioned, Gio Ruggiero, we've got Corey Heim back there. Lane Riggs, who hadn't shown a lot of speed, but I feel potential is there. And is that a fair way to put it?
Again, that's a team that has a knack for getting their truck better as the race goes on, so there's no doubt in my mind he'll be getting better. No doubt about that.
Yeah, we're hearing they're about to get the trucks fired up. In fact, I see window nets going up right now. That's one of the last things that they have to do, Mark, before they actually hit that starter switch on these pickup trucks and get things going once again.
Raja Karuth is in his HendrickCars.com Chevy Silverado, and looks like he is, you can tell, getting the concentration back on, right? That stare as they get focused, and looks like he's certainly ready to hit the toggle switch and fire that motor.
Yeah, they have to get their game face back on for sure. And right now we've got a Toyota GR Supra pace car positioned right at the front of the field. The jet dryers, as they've crossed the exit of pit road, are now starting to pull away one by one, which is a great thing as well. Engines are refiring here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Very exciting, as we're going to get the EcoSave 200 back underway. Mark, there is a red flag being held by the starter in the flag stand. When they hold that flag out, that means they're ready to pull it back and put the yellow out, and you can hear the engines all firing up here at Vegas.
And you can see the red flag there, but furled in his right hand, down by his side, is the yellow flag that will ease things back into action here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And again, the engines have fired, so we're just seconds away from that yellow flag being put into the wind, and then after that, the green one will follow a couple of laps from now.
Yeah, looking forward to this as well. So a lot of exciting things happening here. All right, so we have some penalties. We had talked about the number 11 of Corey Heim was too fast on pit road. That was not the only penalty. We also had Stephen Malazzi also speeding on pit road. And the number 22 truck, Mark, that's Josh Rayum. They were over the wall too soon. The 88 of Matt Crafton, unapproved adjustment during the red flag. So we're going to see all of those trucks drop to the back of the pack before we restart this race.
Little things that you pick up. Now, as I'm watching the NASCAR starter, which is Rich Keeter, he's waving the red flag now instead of just letting it flap in the wind. So I believe that's the next step to pulling it in and then throwing the yellow flag, which I've never paid that much attention to. But right now, that's all I got.
I love this. So Pat Patterson up in turn 3 and 4. Normally, we hear your voice or Nick Yeoman say trouble when the yellow's out. But we'll let you call this yellow flag, Pat.
I don't know what I would be calling at this point other than I'm hoping that those guys are about to fire those trucks up. I can tell you this much, guys. The warmest place to be is sitting inside one of those trucks with the engine running, and I see them about to pull away. So we're going to get back at it real quick here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And the wind's actually died down a little bit, so hoping that this is going to be really good for the rest of it.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. The Toyota GR Super Pace car is pulling the field off of pit road. When they come back around this time mark, the field will get 1 to go, and they will choose when they come back around the second time. They will come through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Today's Restart Zone brought to you by Echo Park Automotive. Every car, happy owner.
Again, things that you learn. All the years I've been watching, flag stands and flag men. My dad was one a long time ago. And
wait, did we get a Vermont reference?
No, that would have been a New Hampshire reference.
Okay, all right.
Claremont Speedway, Claremont, New Hampshire. He not only did he put the yellow flag out, but he waved it, right? So he just didn't put it out.
Right.
I mean, he did the full thing, did the full big wave. So nice job.
That is a sign of a good flag person. You have to make it exciting for a lot of people.
This is a true story. When my dad used to flag at Claremont Speedway, 3rd mile dirt track when we first started going there, he would restart the race on a restart. Now, one of the rules they have in racing is you can't pass to the left before you get to the start-finish line, because back in the day, that's where the flagman was waving the green flag to start the race, and you can't run the flagman over. That would be a bad thing, right? But he would restart the race in turn 1 if they had a restart. He'd jump the wall and then race the fence and then race up the flag stand, hopefully beating the cars back to the start-finish line. He did that for years until the modifieds kept getting faster. He wasn't beating. He was getting older and older. He did not beat him back to the line, and so they had to just put him in the stand.
That's probably a good move and a good thing that they did that. So, all right, this is very exciting. We're going to give you a full field rundown. They're going to come to 1 to go this time by, and I think we're pretty safe at least in giving the top 20 because we do have some trucks that will be dropping to the back here. Ben Rhodes is the leader of the EcoSave 200 as we're about to start stage number 2. Tyler Ankrum runs in 2nd. 3rd is Corey Day. Justin Haley is 4th. Ty Majeski 5th. Stuart Friesen 6th. Rajah Carew 7th. Luke Van House is 8th. Dawson Sutton 9th. 10th is Tanner Gray.
Chandler Smith 11th. Barely Curry is 12th. 13th, Jake Garcia. Matt Crafton now 14th. 15th, Daniel Hemrick. Andre Perez is 16th. 17th, Grant Enfinger. Caden Honeycutt, 18th. 19th, Connor Mozak. Tony Breidinger in 20th.
Matt Mills is 21st. Jack Wood 22nd, 23rd. Lane Riggs. Gio Ruggiero is 24th. Again, he's one of the trucks that does have to drop to the back. Corey Heim another in 25th. 26th, Josh Rayum. Spencer Boyd 27th. Frankie Muniz 28th. 29th, Nathan Bird. William Sawalich is 30th rather. And 31st is Stephen Malazzi.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the green flag at lap 6 here in stage 2. That will leave 24 laps to go in this second stage of the EcoSave 200 for the Craftsman Truck Series here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
It is very exciting to say we're about to start stage number 2 here of the EcoSave 200. The Toyota GR Supra Pace car is leading that field into turn number 3 before they hit the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Pat Patterson, how are they stacking up in front of you?
Well, we're just about ready to go, and once again, we see the yellow light flashing on the pace car. So something they don't like is a mix here. We're going to wait and see, but the pace car's got the lights back on, guys, so we'll hang on here for a second.
Corey Heim apparently thought he had a tire going down, so he just hit pit road, and they changed all 4. He is back out on the racetrack, had caught the tail end of the field before the lights came back on the pace car.
And let me just say, no sense of panic. They are coming back to 1 to go. This isn't a red flag or a yellow flag that came out because of any precipitation. As we go down to Heather DeBow.
And actually looking at Corey Heim's tires right now, there's a screw in the right front tire, so they're checking with NASCAR right now to see if they can get another tire.
I like that. I'd be politicking hard. That seems like a very legit reason.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and that's why NASCAR looks at those tires when they catch a bad break like that, they try to even the score.
Yeah, Nick Yeoman, how you feeling up there in turn 2?
I'm feeling fantastic because we're about to see this race resume, and I don't blame Corey Heim one bit because he's going to have to use up everything he's got with those Goodyear tires based on that penalty. But it's going to be a lot of fun seeing Ben Rhodes up front, the new player with a little strategy call, staying out while the rest of the field pitted there after stage number 1. We'll see if he can keep it up front. But Pat Patterson, I'm always a little nervous after these race car drivers who get so jacked up to go racing have to get out of their trucks and wait about an hour before they go racing again. Let's hope everybody takes care of each other here on this opening lap.
Yeah, you had to bring that up, didn't you? So I have no idea how this is going to restart, but I do know Ben Rhodes was awfully fast in practice this afternoon, and they look like they've got their truck ready to go. Tyler Ankrum was very racy early. That's the guys that are going to start up here on the front row. Justin Haley's there. Pole sitter Corey Day is there as well. And the pace car this time, ladies and gentlemen, has got the lights turned off. So we are about to go racing once again at this beautiful 1.5 miles on this Friday night. Happy race day to one and all. Let's get it cranked back up again right now.
So pace car is on pit road. They're about to enter the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Ben Rhodes leading the field to the green flag after the red flag here at Las Vegas. Green is waving. Ben Rhodes gets a great start on the inside, gets a big push as they head to 1.
Yeah, the two-time series champ is going to try to lead the field into turn number 1, and he will do that successfully on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got Justin Haley right behind him. Haley has Tyler Ankrum to his outside, but it's Ben Rhodes leading them down the backstretch.
That's a good battle for that second spot. Now Haley drops back a bit. Here comes Tyler Ankrum to the bottom. Power move. Going for the lead. He has got a truck link over Rhodes.
Tyler Ankrum will clear Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes does not have enough to do the crossover. He will take the lead right now. It's Ankrum, Rhodes, and Corey Day.
Ankrum did this at the start of the race. That car is really good on fresh Goodyear tires, and now Ben Rhodes is going to chase his truck up the racetrack. He slides right in front of Corey Day in that second spot.
Yeah, Corey Day is right there in that second spot, but charging on the inside, we see that Rhodes is trying to make another move to get back up front. Ankrum, though, leads him. We got a truck that almost got into the wall. We stay green.
Corey Day on the outside battling for the third spot. He's there fighting with Ty Majeski. Also right there is Raja Caruth.
Ben Rhodes looking to the outside, trying to get the race lead, but all attention is that battle for third. Ty Majeski digging hard on the bottom. He is door to door with Corey Day down the backstretch.
They stay that way, locked together, going into turn number 3. Riggs is right there with that group as well. Up front, though, Ankrum still has control.
Ben Rhodes, though, is regrouped, and now he's right on the rear tailgate of Tyler Ankrum. They cross the start-finish line. We have 20 laps to go in stage 2.
Ankrum's been using the bottom of the racetrack all night. That's where he'll go this time into turn number 1. Ben Rhodes runs the middle. Corey Day in third, running the top side. Everybody trying to find some clean air here in Vegas.
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to just sort of sort it out right now and make sure everything's good on these trucks. Tight battle up front, though. Ankrum out in front by only about a half a truck length off of 4.
This is the third time tonight Ankrum has been at the point. Stuart Friesen now is fighting with Lane Riggs. That's a battle for fourth as they close in on Corey Day.
Single file into turn number 1. Ben Rhodes right on the tailgate of Tyler Ankrum. Corey Day, well, he got sideways, chasing up the racetrack. I don't know how he didn't wreck, but he's going to give up a spot. Chandler Smith's going to take third.
Yeah, Chandler Smith gets that spot. Stuart Friesen is there as well. Justin Haley rides in that group. They are separated quite a bit from first and second, all 4.
We're going to have 18 laps to go in stage number 2. Are they racing for the stage 2 break and potential weather? We're going to find out, but it looks hot and heavy out there on the track.
After that miscue for Corey Day, it's allowed the front 2 to chase away by about 6 or 7 truck lengths. It's still hot and heavy at the front, though, separated by just 1, Tyler Ankrum and Ben Rhodes.
They work their way down the Nellis straightaway now into turn number 4. Ankrum out in front in that bright orange and blue machine, being challenged now on the outside by Rhodes.
As they work out of turn 4, they've got a 3-4 truck length gap back to Chandler Smith. Then it's Stuart Friesen, and now Corey Day side by side with Justin Haley.
Yeah, Corey Day starting to free fall as he fell to the 5th position. He's trying to hold on and not give it up to Justin Haley. Haley on the bottom, rockets to the inside, still side by side for 5th.
Yeah, watching that battle, Jake Garcia is right there as well. Raja Caruth is in the mix. Up front, again, it stays hot and heavy between these two Rhodes and Ankrum.
Ben Rhodes trying to run to the high line behind Tyler Ankrum, your race leader. He's about a truck length and a half off the rear tailgate as they head to 1.
Yeah, hard not to be impressed with Ben Rhodes starting up front after all these drivers pitted right before or after the stage break. He is holding strong in that second spot. Still 2 truck lengths to disadvantage to Tyler Ankrum.
Impressive run with Corey Day. It continues here tonight once again. He's about in the 5th spot there as they race into turns 3 and 4. Ankrum at the very bottom of the racetrack, a car length and a half in front of the leader.
Tyler Ankrum continues to lead. 15 laps to go in stage number 2. Chandler Smith has caught the leaders. Stuart Friesen is catching Chandler Smith.
Yeah, this is now a party at the front of the field as Ben Rhodes continues to try to work the middle of the racetrack. Chandler Smith in 3rd looks faster than the front 2. He's running the bottom line out of turn 2.
Single file, 1, 2, and 3 down the Nellis straightaway. Once again, Ankrum out in front. Rhodes getting a little antsy back behind him. Chandler Smith closes in on these top 2.
3-truck battle for the lead. Tyler Ankrum has the lead right now. Ben Rhodes in 2nd, but right to his rear bumper. Chandler Smith trying to make something happen into 1.
Chandler Smith, a lot of experience in NASCAR, ran in the Xfinity Series last year, now back to trucks and looking for a race win. Still sits in 3rd as he chases after Ben Rhodes down the backstretch.
Ankrum has a really good car, a really good truck as he exits off of turn number 2. Races into turn 3, loses a little ground to Rhodes here. Can't close in on him though. Still controls the lead.
Ankrum down to the line, 13 to go in stage number 2. Here is Smith again challenging for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, those front 3 have chased away from Stuart Friesen by about 5 trucks lengths. And again, everybody using different parts of the racetrack. Tyler Ankrum, though, continues to be glued to the bottom of the racetrack with the lead.
A little further back, Jake Garcia has really separated himself from the pole sitter Corey Day. Good battle going on behind them. Rajah Caruth is in it against Justin Haley. That's a tight race as they get all really close together. Corey Heim in the middle of that one as well, all 4.
12 laps to go here in stage number 2 as we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. .12 to go in stage number 2. Tyler Ankrum leads Ben Rhodes, Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, and Jake Garcia. When we come back, we'll take you to the end of stage number 2 here at Las Vegas.
Let's get racing. She's rounding the corner, straight for the straight talk aisle. Woo, pile up on aisle 9. She's picking out a new plan. Incredible win.
Get a free Samsung A16 or Moto G-Power 5G 2024 with real unlimited data from Straight Talk. Available at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk, official partner of NASCAR. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Copyright 2025 Verizon. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC, and is used with permission.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Go get it done. Green. Where high octane meets the high banks. Down. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, 1 unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Ben Rhodes just lost the 2nd spot to Chandler Smith. He's about to lose 3rd to Stuart Friesen from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just a pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, nearing the end of the second stage of tonight's truck race, Corey Day, who was the youngster with lots of potential, has dropped to 6th in this stage, but he has stabilized that position. We spend a lot of time right now talking to him about improving turns 3 and 4. They're trying to get him down to the bottom of the track, down at the white line at the bottom. That's what they're talking to him a lot during this stage, trying to improve that. They feel pretty good about where he is in turns 1 and 2. But it's turns 3 and 4 that they feel like that's been the issue.
He has just been passed by Justin Haley and Corey Heim, so Corey Day is now running in the 8th spot. For Corey Heim, after the problems he had on the pit stop, and then, of course, the tire going down, he is up 12 spots and on the move.
Look out, it's Heim time here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as he continues to climb. As Mark had mentioned, right now 7th. We have 5 laps to go here in stage number 2. How much further can he climb? Leaders are in front of Pat Patterson.
Yeah, Chandler Smith is getting awfully anxious to get up there and lead this race. He closed it down just a moment ago, guys.
As they come down to the line, 4 laps left in stage number 2. The lead trucks of Ankrum and Chandler Smith now stretching away from Stuart Friesen.
And Chandler Smith absolutely has a shot to win this stage. He is all over the back of Tyler Ankrum's truck, separated by 1 truck length, Pat, halfway down the backstretch.
Yeah, that's the way they'll race into turn number 3 now. Ankrum to the bottom of the racetrack. Chandler Smith right on his bumper, right on that tailgate off of turn number 4 now, about 5 car lengths behind.
3 laps to go in stage number 2. Tyler Ankrum gets a great exit out of turn number 4. Chandler Smith is backed up a little bit. Stuart Friesen starting to catch up in 3rd.
Yeah, boy, that must have been a big moment for Chandler Smith because he was right on the deck lid of Tyler Ankrum's truck, and now he's got to find about 3 or 4 truck lengths down the backstretch.
Yeah, we'll see if Ankrum does the same thing again here. He kind of took the line away from Chandler Smith a moment ago. This time about 4 truck lengths separate 1st and 2nd at the bottom of the racetrack.
As they work out of turn number 4, 2 laps now left in stage number 2, and now here's Friesen making a bit of a comeback as he tries to reel in the lead 2 truck.
Yeah, you can see them both arcing into turn number 1 as Chandler Smith has gathered it back up. He's running about a half a groove off the bottom of the racetrack, and it's working for him. Pat, he's re-catching Tyler Ankrum.
Down the Nellis straightaway, that's the way they run, 1st and 2nd into turn number 3. Gonna catch some lap traffic here. Might be an opportunity for Chandler Smith as they come off of turn number 4.
Corey Heim has moved up into the top 5. Can he move up further? Here's the race leader, Tyler Ankrum, across the start-finish line, getting around the lap truck of Josh Rayum.
He will dart to the outside of Rayum. He'll stay to the bottom. Chandler Smith will streak around him, as will Stuart Friesen. That's the top 3 here on the last lap of stage 2.
Smith is hammered down this Nellis straightaway once again. Can he close the gap as they work into turn number 3? Ankrum to the bottom. There's Smith riding a little bit higher on the racetrack, and then of course you've got Majeski.
So the top 3 have trucked away from the rest of the field. Tyler Ankrum will win stage number 2. Chandler Smith will finish 2nd. 3rd is going to be Stuart Friesen, and Corey Heim has come all the way back to the 4th spot. He passes Ben Rhodes in turn number 4 to get the 4th spot. 5th and stage number 2 is Ben Rhodes, Justin Haley 6th, 7th Jake Garcia, Rajah Caruth 8th, 9th is Caden Honeycutt, and Corey Day holds on to 10th. So Tyler Ankrum, 6 stages in the Craftsman Truck Series season, 6 different stage winners, the latest, Tyler Ankrum.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Imagine a scrapbook filled with all your favorite memories of 75 years at Darlington Raceway. Now imagine that scrapbook going 190 miles per hour.
Have you ever? No, I've never.
You don't have to imagine. You need to get to Darlington, where the drivers of today tackle the track too tough to tame, just like they did your first time. NASCAR Throwback Weekend at Darlington Raceway, April 5th and 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com. Discover South Carolina.
Pit road is about to be a busy place here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as the trucks will come down and get fresh tires and Sunoco race fuel. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
To provide the music, talk, and sports you love. And to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered. NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Kyle Rickey. Join Chris Wilner and I each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We also talk to rising stars from your favorite short track. That's NASCAR Coast to Coast. Watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or your favorite podcast platform.
So we're back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 2 stages are complete now in the EcoSave 200. The green light flashing, so we're about to get some pit stops.
We are going to get busy here, Mark, and this is going to be exciting. Again, Tyler, 2 trucks I feel right now are the fastest out there. Tyler Ankrum, who won Stage 2, Corey Heim, who raced his way from the back to 5th. Now we're going to see how fast their pit crews are. We saw Corey Heim have a very fast pit stop at the end of Stage 1. A speeding penalty put him to the back. What's going to happen here, Mark?
He'll certainly want to be a little bit underneath it as far as the speed limit is concerned, because that truck's good. If he's got the track position starting anywhere near the front in this 3rd and final stage, he should be very tough. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
All right, Ankrum says that the truck was building tight as this road, as the run went on. He comes to a stop in his pit stall. They're going to give him an air pressure adjustment to the right front, and no chassis adjustment for him. 4-tire change. Chandler Smith says, get me out of the front row. They're going to give him a 4-tire change. Also, Day is in, and he wants this truck to be loosened or tightened up so the truck was too loose. Let's go to Heather DeBow.
And Corey Heim makes his way up into that 4th position. He told his crew chief, Scott Ziffidelli, that he's very happy where that truck is. The balance is pretty good, in good shape, so no changes for the 11. Also in Justin Haley and Raja Karuth. Raja stating that the truck started off snug and he was tight over the bumps, so they made an adjustment to help with that.
Looks like Corey Heim is going to lead the field off of pit road. Indeed, he does. Then it's Stuart Friesen, Justin Haley, Chandler Smith, Grant Enfinger, Caden Honeycutt, Daniel Hemrick, Raja Karuth. Tyler Ankrum lose 7 spots. He drops back to 9th. Jake Garcia was the 10th driver off of pit lane.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing.
And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it done. Green.
Where high octane meets the high banks.
Down.
And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
When we come back, the field is going to fly through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Today's Restart Zone brought to you by Echo Park Automotive. Every car, happy owner. Stage 3 about to get underway from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Imagine a scrapbook filled with all your favorite memories of 75 years at Darlington Raceway. Now imagine that scrapbook going 190 miles per hour.
Have you ever? No, I've never.
You don't have to imagine. You need to get to Darlington, where the drivers of today tackle the track too tough to tame, just like they did your first time. NASCAR Throwback Weekend at Darlington Raceway, April 5th and 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com. Discover South Carolina.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
And just finished our round of pit stops at the end of stage 2, and a little oops for the pit crew of Josh Rayum. They lost a tire, which rolled out into the infield, so he'll be serving a penalty as we start stage 3.
Another penalty for Luke Fenhouse. This one for Luke Fenhouse. Crew members over the wall too soon, so really tough for him. Rajah Caruth has to go to the rear, a safety violation on that pit stop as well. Not sure exactly what the violation was, but it could be equipment came out of the pit box. It could be a crew member was a little too far out as well. So we'll see. Rajah Caruth is going to have to drop a handful of spots. He was 9th coming off of pit road, and a pit entry violation as well, Mark, for the number 45 of Caden Honeycutt. You can tell that people feel the anticipation for the end of this one, especially on pit road.
Track position, everybody trying to get it any way they can. And now Dawson Sutton, improper fueling. He will get a pit road penalty as well. And for Rajah Caruth, that one's going to be a tough one. He's got plenty of laps to make it up, but he's been running top 10 in that truck just about all night long, so that one certainly hurts.
Yeah, for sure. Very solid. Again, Rajah Caruth came into this race as the defending winner. He also came into this race 30th in the point standings in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He needs to have a solid night. He needs to be able to collect as many points at the end of this one as he can. They're going to come to one to go, so we're not going to go back to green this time by and go through the Echo Park Automotive restart zone, but my gosh, Mark, it looks like we're going to restart with 67 laps.
For Rajah Caruth, it's been so bad to start the season. Almost anything will be better because he finished 30th at Daytona, 29th at Atlanta, no place to go but up. No, everything's going to be an improvement today for Las Vegas.
Mark,
for Rajah Caruth.
Yeah, the pit road officiating trailer has been busy here tonight. Safety violation for Gio Ruggiero as well. William Sawalich, improper fueling. Of course, he was already at the back a lap down because he had to pit under green in stage number 1. But still, I think a lot of the field's relieved to see the Toyota GR Supra Pace car turn its lights off, so maybe NASCAR cannot continue to issue penalties, but I think they have them all covered.
So at this point, it looks like I've got Jack Wood up at the top. He didn't pit, I guess.
Jack Wood being shown as the race leader. Corey Heim is being shown in second, so he'll restart on the front row as well. Third is Stuart Friesen, Justin Haley fourth. Fifth is Chandler Smith, Grant Enfinger sixth, Daniel Hemrick seventh, Tyler Ankrum eighth, Jake Garcia ninth, Corey Day is in 10th.
Lane Riggs 11th, 12th, Connor Mozak, Matt Mills 13th, 14th, Tanner Gray, Ty Majeski 15th, Gio Ruggiero 16th, 17th, Tony Breidinger, Andre Perez 18th, 19th, Matt Crafton, Dawson Sutton in 20th.
So Jack Wood, this is a strategy play, Mark. He was shown as the race leader, but he was on pit road. They waited until right before going back to green to refuel that truck. We have 68 laps to go. I think they're going to need a benefit of a caution if they're going to be able to stretch this Sunoco fuel, but this sounds like a big strategy play for Jack Wood right now. Will it pay off? You never know, but if that is your best chance to win, you have to take it.
All right, Pat Patterson, that makes for an interesting front row. Stuart Friesen inside, Corey Heim on the outside.
Man, I hate to disappoint you again. Here comes the pace car with the lights on, guys. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go around one more time to get it started.
I think they have to resort the scoring here.
After Jack Wood popped onto pit road, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, added a lap for raindrops. Okay, so right now, if it rained, this would be already considered an official race. And well, as we cross the start-finish line now, Corey Heim would be the beneficiary of something like that. But again, looking at the radar that's out there, Mark, if we have anything, I think it's just something that they might be seeing on a windshield. We're not seeing much out here. In fact, Nick Yeoman, what does it feel like to you out there 1 and 2?
Well, I wish I had better news for you. No, it just picked up here in about the last 2 minutes. Again, it's that same misting, light sprinkling, but it is definitely coming down here in corner number 2. So we're going to have to wait and see here, fellas.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. We appreciate that. Pat Patterson, we're hearing on pit road from Heather DeBow, a little bit of sprinkles. How about high up in turn 4?
Yes, here in the Racing Guy Weather Center, I can report that we do have the light rain up here, and the only way I really see it, guys, is I look up here into the Musco lighting, and I can see it. It's very, very light, very similar to what we had just a little bit earlier, but it is definitely some moisture here.
Man, to be in Jack Wood's pits, and it started raining as he pulled off.
You know what? Yeah, that's a great point. This could.
I mean, that's why they stayed out, right? They stayed out, maybe catch a little lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, but looking at the radar, though, Mark, I don't see this on the radar.
And that's probably why they made the pit stop. Said, okay, we made our little gamble here, and now it's time to, get our fuel, get our tires.
Look, not everyone on pit road has the benefit of the Pat Patterson Weather Center like we do here on the NASCAR Racing Network.
And Pat has the old-fashioned radar. He does the finger in the wind thing. I mean, which is much more precise, I think, than any kind of radar.
Trust me, Nick and I are pretty good meteorologists at this point. We don't have a problem telling what's going on, do we, Nick?
I can tell when it's raining. I know that. I can look up. I can feel it on my face. I can see it on my glasses. So, yeah, it is what it is.
All right, they're going to bring him down pit road this time by. And, look, we're making light of it now because should it rain, this race could be considered official. And at that point, Corey Heim could be declared the winner. But again, Mark, I'm looking at the radar, and I'm not seeing this on it. So I am optimistic we still get to go to lap 134 or potentially beyond. But what they want to do, while you have the track, if you can get the Toyota Tundra track drying team out there, stay ahead of something, we can get back to green flag racing quicker.
The one thing that NASCAR has always been famous for, I guess for lack of a better word, they will always try to get the full distance in, no matter what. So if there's any chance that we can keep the track dry or get it dry and finish this race, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, most definitely. So right now they're lined up behind the Toyota GR Supra pace car, and they're going to bring them down pit road. We see the officials lined up there. They'll come past the start-finish line, which means that the reason why they do that, they'll go to the end of pit road. They'll get all of the trucks past the start-finish line on pit road. That way everyone can cycle through a lap, and the lineup as it sits on pit road at that point would be our official lineup at this point in the race. So when they click off past the start-finish line, that will be of the laps completed. That would mean we would have 65 laps to go. 69 laps would be completed at that point here of the EcoSave 200. So that's what's going on out there on the racetrack right now. And we'll see what happens, Mark. Again, we're looking at the window as we can look out on the racetrack above the start-finish line here at Las Vegas. And again, we see drops, but these are tiny, misty-type drops. It's not like a rain-type drop, but obviously it's enough. You cannot go back racing under these conditions right now.
Again, I always look for fans as another gauge, and they're out there. They're standing in their stands, and there's some down by the fence watching the trucks come onto pit road. They're not running for cover. So that's something I always look for.
All right, this is also interesting, Mark. When we had the red flag at the end of stage number 1, the trucks came single file down pit road. We've already gone through the choose for stage number 2. NASCAR brought the trucks down pit road double file. The choose has happened. So what they have chosen, inside or outside, is not going to change. The only thing that would change, if a truck had to drop out of line and go to the back, that line would move forward, but they will not, it doesn't look like, at least the way they've lined them up, re-choose before we go back to the green flag.
They think of everything. NASCAR.
They do think of everything.
They do. They're one step ahead of the gang all the time, which is why we have one row longer than the other down on pit road. We've got the inside line.
All the penalty trucks.
Yeah, all the penalty. Right, 7 trucks deeper there at the end on the inside.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing that Mark brings up, because the trucks are side by side for about the first 10, 11 rows or so, and then they're all single file on the inside. Whenever you hear about a penalty being served under caution, and that penalty is a pit road violation, that would be you would restart on the tail end of the longer line. You don't shuffle 2 by 2 at that point. You stop shuffling, and all of the penalty trucks literally start, and I'll call it the tail of the field, Mark, because it looks like the tail of the field with them being single file behind all of the double file trucks.
Literally. And at this point, we do see some of the crew guys going out to the trucks. Drivers have not gotten out yet. They're still in the cockpit of these machines, and so we're ever hopeful we're going to restart this thing.
I'm very hopeful. Brett McMillan, how are you doing down there on pit road?
I'm cold. I got an update on Corey Day. Remember we talked about that his truck was really, really loose towards the end of that stage, and it turns out that he had a slow leak, and that was the reason the truck was extremely loose, and that he dropped a bunch of positions at the end of stage 2.
Not a good thing, Mark, but when you know you have a problem, and then you know that you know what the problem is and have a solution for it, I think that is a good thing. Corey Heim, they had the screw in that tire, and they had an issue with that when they came back off of pit road at the end of before the restart of stage number 2, and he flew up through the field, finished 5th in stage number 2, and now is leading the race through the benefit of a very fast pit crew.
And at this point, right now, I'd also like to be a fly on the inside of Stuart Friesen's brain, because he's sitting there, number 2, has a long dry spell in the Truck Series, looking to grab another victory here, get back to victory lane, and he's trying to catch a red eye to run a big dirt race out east tomorrow. So, I'm just wondering where his emotions are leaning at this point.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can get through TSA pretty quick and get at it. Although, really, hopefully, he gets to stay an extended period and celebrate in victory lane, go into the media center, do the post-race press conference, and, well, if he can get back out east, great. If he can do it that way, he can do it with the trophy.
Yeah, he can do it with the trophy and then be begging to mooch a ride with somebody, like one of the charters that are going back tonight, that maybe he can catch one of those, which may not leave him where he wants to be ending up, but that's just one step closer, right? He'll figure out the rest. Just get me back on the East Coast, and I'll figure out the rest of it.
All right, NASCAR is allowing the drivers to get out of their trucks, but they told them to stay close. So this isn't go back to the hauler. Right now, the trucks are on the turn 1 side of pit road. The Truck Series haulers are not necessarily near that, so they want to keep them close, which means they're optimistic that we're going to get the green flag back out here in stage number 3 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which is kind of strange, Mark. Like, we don't ever want to see a rain delay. It's just by happenstance that we've had a rain delay at the end of stage 1 and now at the end of stage 2 before we start stage number 3.
Kind of balance things out, and then whoever takes the checkered flag at the end of the 3rd and final stage, as he's pulling into victory lane, there'll be another light mist, and it'll all balance out. The entire race.
Yeah, maybe so. So, again, as we sit, 65 laps to go here in the EcoSave 200. Corey Heim leads Stuart Friesen. Chandler Smith is in 3rd. 4th, Justin Haley. 5th is Daniel Hemrick. Grant Enfinger is 6th. Tyler Ankrum 7th. 8th is Jake Garcia. Corey Day is 9th. And Connor Mozak is running 10th.
In the 11th spot, it is going to be Lane Riggs. Ty Majeski, 12th. 13th, Matt Mills. Andres Perez, 14th, 15th, Gio Ruggiero, Matt Crafton, 16th, Tony Breidinger, 17th, 18th, Spencer Boyd, Ben Rhodes, 19th, 20th, Bailey Curry.
Dawson Sutton is running 21st, 22nd, Caden Honeycutt. These are trucks now that have had penalties. Rajah Caruth is 23rd, Josh Rayum 24th, Jack Wood 25th. They didn't have a penalty, but they came down pit road right before they thought we were going to go back to green. We feel that is a fuel strategy play. Tanner Gray is sitting in 26th. 27th is Luke Fenhouse. Frankie Muniz is sitting in 28th. He's -1 lap. Nathan Bird, 29th, -1 lap. Also -1 lap, William Sawalich. He's -1 lap because he hit the wall in stage number 1, had to pit under green for 2 right side tires. And Stephen Malazzi, the only truck that is behind the wall right now here at Las Vegas. 69 laps are complete of the 134, 65 laps to go. We are under red here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
So far tonight, Tyler Ankrum has scored the most points, 19, as he wins the second stage after finishing in second place in stage 1. Corey Heim and Stuart Friesen have scored 14 points so far in the opening 2 stages. Chandler Smith, 12 points. Ty Majeski, 10. 9 apiece for Jake Garcia and Corey Day. 6 for Ben Rhodes. 4 for Raja Caruth, and Gio Ruggiero has a couple of points scored here in the opening stages.
Nick Yeoman up there in turn 2. We didn't know that we were going to have to grab an umbrella for you today, so I apologize for that. But the better question is, do you need one right at this moment?
Negative, my friend. It is not raining here in turn number 2, so that's the best news of all. But it has just been an annoying precipitation here over the last several hours of starting and stopping. This one was as light as we have had all night long, but again, enough to bring out the red flag. But the good news is I'm not seeing a really dark racetrack below me on top of this billboard here just at the exit of turn number 2, and I'm not really seeing that asphalt change much. And nicely is that I don't see any rain coming down when you look up into the lights as well. So we are all dry out here in turn number 2. I do wish I would have brought that umbrella, but right now, fellas, I don't need it.
I like that. Well, let's go down to pit road and Heather DeBow.
Yeah, here now with Connor Mosack, who's debriefing with his crew chief, Blake Bainbridge. And you reported on the radio that you had a loose race truck. Is it getting better for you, and what more do you need to get that truck where you need it to be once we go green again?
Yeah, we were super free in the first stage. So we struggled, just kind of tried to hold on to it and get to where we can make an adjustment. We took a big swing at it at the end of the first stage, and definitely fired off a lot better there for us. But continue to build free, so still got a little bit of work to do on the balance, but feel like we get it right. We definitely got some good speed in it, so hopefully we can keep driving this thing to the front.
Now, we've had a rain delay now after each stage. So when you have a break in the action like this, is it easy for you to get in the truck and get refocused on what you're out there to do, or does it take you a few laps to get back in the groove of things?
I feel like I can get right back in. If anything, it's helpful, just especially when we're struggling a little bit with the balance, to be able to debrief things, more detailed. So I feel like it's actually been helpful for us, but definitely want to get back out there and finish this thing off.
All right, well, good luck to you when we do go green again.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather.
Again, Connor Mosack, boy, could he use some good news. 32nd at Daytona, won the pole at Atlanta, led 25 laps, then winds up 25th. So, another guy that had a rough start to the year, fast truck, certainly hopes to get it turned around tonight.
So let me ask you this, Mark. We started this race broadcast here today talking about the season open with 2 races on 2 really tough, unpredictable tracks, Daytona and Atlanta Motor Speedway. Both speedway styles of racing where anything can happen, you can get caught up in someone else's mess, and that's kind of a tough thing to do, and we've seen drivers who have been victims of that last year or this year. We talked at the beginning of this broadcast that hey, we get to come to Las Vegas. This is just a known. We get to kind of run a straight-up race from the green flag to the checkered flag. Tonight it's been anything but. So is this still a normal race, or have we has Mother Nature put just enough of a wild card into it at this point?
She's put a knuckleball in there.
A knuckleball.
Yeah,
all right.
She's thrown a knuckleball, but I think it is still a race where drivers feel like they can control their destiny a lot more than Daytona and Atlanta, and they always feel a little bit better about that. And they also feel a little bit better every time they get to talk to Brett McMillan. Right, Brett?
Absolutely. We're here with Corey Heim, the leader right now. Well, your pit crew's knocking it out of the park tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. They've been lights out for sure, and the Safe Flight 130 Pro has been as well. So firing on all cylinders right now. I made really the only mistake of the night for our team by speeding on pit road in the first stage. So really glad that my supporting cast has been perfect, and we're going to have to keep it that way to come home with the win. But you're just talking about how it's hard to stay in a rhythm, definitely tough, and getting out twice now, it's not ideal, but try to keep our heads in it and be there for the end.
All right, anybody loves a win. Do you love a win any way you can get it, or would you like to go back out there and finish this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to race it out for sure, just to display how good this Tundra is. I feel like we've come a long way with our truck tonight. Started out really tight, and then we made it a lot better. Had a lot of experience in traffic with the speeding penalty that I did early in the race, so definitely want to keep racing, hopefully, and come home with the win on the racetrack.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. That's Corey Heim, currently the leader.
I don't know if I believe him. Hey, do you want to race the rest of the race knowing you're going to finish second, or do you want to take the win right now? Give me the W.
Yeah, I felt like there was hesitation. Well, yeah, I want to race it out, but
I'll take the W.
Yeah, I want the win.
Yeah, I'll take the W.
Yeah. Hey, look, he got one this year. in an unconventional way at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Parker Kligerman, you talk about a dark cloud that follows somebody around. That man cannot catch a break. Wins that truck race, they get penalized. Corey Heim wins the race, and then, Jack Wood and his team, they hung out there, to try to strategy-wise take their shot. And we saw, Justin Haley's in this race. We saw him win a race at Daytona where he stayed out, everybody pitted. Then there was a lightning strike, under the 8-mile gap, and then the rain came in, and Justin Haley was sitting there, right there in the number 1 spot without pitting to win that race at Daytona. That was a Cup race. And so, strategy comes in hand. Sometimes, in this sport, you just have to be lucky, too. You got to be good, right? Corey Heim's up front. But sometimes it pays to be lucky as well.
I would agree. All right, so the good news is Corey Heim might actually get his wish and will likely get his wish to race it out. We are hearing from NASCAR officials that the track is drying much quicker than they anticipated. And I'm going to use the word drying a little bit loose, Mark, because I don't really feel like it ever got super wet. But if there's a little bit of moisture on the racetrack, you got to get it off. And that's what they're doing with the jet dryers going around this 1.5-mile ribbon of asphalt here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's go down to Brett McMillan. Brett, what's happening down there?
Well, I got Stuart Friesen here. Let's see, you're sitting second right now. And are you also checking the watch about that red eye?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that right now. We got a bigger task at hand. Really, really good Halmar Mohawk TRD Pro here tonight, and hopefully we're going to get back to it here in a second.
That was a great pit stop by your guys to get you out second place.
Yeah, the boys, they've been killing it and had a really good one. The stalls are really, really slick with a little bit of that, rain spitting on top of the concrete. So I was able to slick track dirt cart out of the stall and get a good launch, and we got a couple there.
All right, sounds like you're ready to go back to work. So Stuart Friesen sitting second right now. Not worried about the red eye. Got to get a chance to win this thing.
Let's go to Heather.
And somebody that was worried about the red eye is Ben Rhodes. As I was talking to him, they just called the drivers to the trucks. But, yes, him and Rich Lucius were just talking about how they have a red eye tonight. So they were over here trying to do the math, thinking, okay, if we race here and then there's this much time in the race, will we make that flight? So stay tuned. There's not only a race here to finish tonight, but then a race to the airport after.
And I know the feeling because I take a red eye out on Sunday night after the Cup race every time, because this time of the year I'm volleyball refereeing, so I got a game on Monday. And so thankfully we're starting the race early on Sunday, which gives you a little bit of breathing room. But there have been times where, there's a race within a race. The race is over and you're trying to fly over to the airport here to fly out.
So would it bother you if Monday morning before my 8 a.m. flight, after a good night's sleep, I texted and asked how your flight was?
I'll be just getting my car out of the parking deck and starting to drive home about that time, I think. And, if you can sleep on the red eye, it's a good thing. But for some reason, I always have a little bit of trouble sleeping at night. I don't know if I'm worrying, how do they keep a plane in the air for 5 hours? I don't know. I don't know if I'm contemplating the meaning of life or whatever. But if you can sleep, it's good. But it is a miserable thing if you're on the red eye and you end up watching 2 or 3 movies by the time you land in Charlotte and then you go to work the next day. It makes for a long day, that's for sure.
My head will be comfortably on a pillow at the South Point Hotel and Casino, dreaming about when we get to come back here in the fall for the South Point 400 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
It's always a good thing to be at the South Point, no doubt about that. They do have very comfy beds. The only thing you have to worry about the red eye, honestly, is, getting an NFL lineman in the middle seat. Then when you got one of those bruisers in there, and they're trying to fit in, right? But they're bleeding over. You're halfway. I always got an aisle seat. I'm leaned over in the aisle, just trying, just sort of bent in a weird way because we got that all-pro linebacker or the defensive tackle in the middle seat. Yeah.
You know where one is not? In my room at the South Point, where I'll be sleeping comfortably while you're on the red eye.
There's the theme here, folks. There's the theme. You got to pay, going long distance across country, you just got to pay the price. And, I like I said, I'm going to get back there and and hopefully do some volleyball refereeing here at the beginning of the week and get ready for the next broadcast.
And that'll be great. I hope you have some good games to referee as well. We have jet dryers going right in front of us across the start-finish line, and this is a really cool thing as well. A lot of times, anytime you go to a racetrack, you'll see jet dryers with a lot of different logos. The first two out there came from my home track, Texas Motor Speedway. They get jet dryers from other nearby tracks. Some of them stay right here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and that's the way it works, not just within the Speedway Motorsports family, Mark, and the racetracks that Speedway Motorsports owns and runs, but also within NASCAR. It's not uncommon to see maybe a Talladega jet truck at Charlotte Motor Speedway, or maybe a Charlotte jet truck up at Richmond Raceway, and so on and so forth. You know, a racetrack can't own and maintain 6 or 8 of them, but whenever you start, helping each other out, that's just the way this business works.
Well, you take Richmond, Darlington, Martinsville, Charlotte. We're kind of all geographic together, and so they get to help out that way. So, yeah, many times you will see a lot of different logos on these trucks as all the tracks try to help each other out.
Yeah, so that's a really neat thing. And these trucks are not just crawling, trying to dry specific sections. They're actually... they're moving at a fair pace, a little faster than maybe what they were before. Everything looks dry on the racetrack in front of us. And I can tell you this, for Nick Yeoman, for Pat Patterson, for Heather DeBow, for Brett McMillan, it's 45 degrees out here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway right now in the desert. It's not just 45 degrees, but that American flag that is planted firmly in the middle of the Nellis straightaway, the back straightaway here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it is sticking straight out into the wind. So not only is it 45 degrees, it's windy. And for our team members who are out there on the racetrack, and for all of the team members that are out there competing, and for the people in the grandstands and the race officials and the people who work here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's a rough night. These are, I'm not going to call them, I'm going to stop short of calling them severe conditions. These are very uncomfortable conditions.
They're challenging.
It's challenging.
Exactly. It is challenging. Back once upon a time when I used to do turns with MRN and PRN and all that, there are days when it's kind of cool to be out there and, the sun's shining, it's kind of warm, and you've got the best seat in the house. And then there are other days where the wind is just cutting you right in half, and so gets to be a challenge from time to time. So kudos to all them out there right now.
All right, so Gio Ruggiero had his penalty rescinded, rolling off when they get to the backstretch, or the cars are going to roll off, trucks are going to roll off when the Jets get to the backstretch. So Gio Ruggiero, his penalty has been rescinded. He is not going to be one of the penalty trucks that has to line up in a straight line, but because they have actually chosen, I'm not sure exactly where they're going to put him back out there. All right, firing engines right now, Mark. So the red flag is out in the air. That means the yellow flag is about to come back out. And after the yellow flag, a green flag.
The third time we've heard the engines fire today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yes, we have. So far we've had 2 cautions. They've essentially ended our stage breaks. The first caution came before the end of Stage 1. The second caution was the end of Stage 2. We have 65 laps to go right now. If they do what they did last time, Mark, and they bring them around, show the 1 to go, bring them around, show them the green again through the Echo Park Automotive restart zone, that means we're going to restart with 63 laps. So, Jack Wood, will a fuel strategy play work? Maybe. You still have to go out there and race fast and stay on the lead lap and be able to come out in front of your competitors when they cycle around, because the rest of the trucks likely will have to make a pit stop, but you never know what we might have caution-wise and how far they can stretch that Sunoco race fuel.
Some of those guys in super save mode, Jack Wood will certainly at the beginning of this run be in that mode. If we get a yellow flag or 2, might just have enough to get the rest of the way. You just never know. And again, all these teams, they have all these different strategies, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Sometimes there's even a plan E, and so we'll see how this thing plays out.
I think we're getting to plan Triple Z right now with these red flags. But we'll see. All right, the jet trucks are making a mad dash to get off the racetrack and get back in their positions. The red flag is being held firmly in the air. It is being waved right now. The yellow flag is in the right hand of our starter up in the flag stand. That means it's going to be displayed. And the Toyota Supra Pace car pulling off a pit road once again, Mark, as we are about to be back under yellow and get ready to restart with stage number 3 here in the EcoSave 200.
The pace car driver, Eric Johnson, he's probably getting the hang of it by now, leading these guys off of pit road into the green flag, so he's just getting a little more practice.
That Toyota GR Super is a pretty nice car, too. I'm sure they're very comfortable in there. Heater on, kind of tucked in really nice in those comfortable seats.
Maybe listening to us, make it even better. Maybe scanning us, listening to the broadcast.
Yeah, could be. Great job what you do out there. Hopefully we don't have to see you again before the race is over.
That's right. Yeah, just park it. Just this time when you get down pit road, just park it. We've seen you enough. Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
exactly. We have one truck stalled on pit road, and that looks like maybe Spencer Boyd is about to have to get a push. It looks like Spencer Boyd's going to have to get a push to refire. No harm, no foul there, but we're going to get the 1-to-go signal when they come back this time by the GR Super midway down the Nellis straightaway. So once they come back by, that means one more until we go back to green.
It always amazes me when you see these truck drivers and you see drivers in the Xfinity and Cup Series under these conditions, right? You have the long delay, tires cool off, the track cools off, and then you go out and you take 1 or 2 pace laps and bang, you're right back in it in anger. And it's an amazing thing how they can adapt to this the way they do. It really is.
Yeah, I want to say how fortunate we are. I know we did have a little bit of rain, but showing the radar here, we literally did get split, Mark. There's a lot of it to the south of us. There's snow behind it up in the mountains, and there's a little bit of it to the north of us. So right now it is completely dry here, which is a great thing. The yellow flag is waving out in the air, so it looks like we will not get the 1-to-go signal this time by as they get all of the safety equipment off the track. I take that back. It will be 1-to-go. They just recalled it from NASCAR. So 1-to-go. That means the lights on the Toyota GR Super pace car go off. Corey Heim is your race leader. Stuart Friesen. 2 Toyotas on the front row. Friesen lines up on the inside.
It's funny to watch NASCAR starter Rich Keeter. He was waving the flag, and then to give the 1-to-go, you got to wrap the yellow flag back up, and it was like a late signal, as you were talking about. He's wrapping that thing as fast as he can to get it up in the air, so it's a 1-to-go signal. And I tell you what, you got Corey Heim on the outside, Stuart Friesen inside. Then you have Chandler Smith on the inside of the second row, Justin Haley to his outside. So some interesting trucks there in the front 2 rows.
Nick Yeoman, the next time they come past you, they're going to be in anger.
I have never been so happy to see the lights off on the pace car, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, no doubt. And Corey Heim had an absolute rocket ship right before the end of stage 2. Remember, going from the rear of the field and getting up into the top 5. So him restarting this race, Pat Patterson on the front row, could be a little scary, but obviously Stuart Friesen's got a good truck. Well, it's going to be an interesting restart here in Vegas.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And the pace car, thank goodness, still has lights off. So I think we're going to get going green here. Corey Heim to the outside, Friesen on the inside. Those 2 trucks are going to lead us back to green. There are some guys that you haven't heard from yet, but are awfully close to the front. Daniel Hemrick is there in that 3rd row, and Grant Enfinger. And Enfinger has a way of waiting until just the right time to get hot. We'll see if he can get hot on this cold night here in Vegas. Pace car heads to the pit road. We are ready to roll again.
Here we go. They are just a few hundred feet away from the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. On the outside, it's Corey Heim, and he is going to get an early jump, but Stuart Friesen, what a great push he gets from Chandler Smith. Friesen now with the advantage on the inside of Heim.
Chandler Smith, always aggressive. He will push Stuart Friesen into the race lead, and now Chandler Smith's looking for second. He's digging on the bottom. He's going to nose ahead of Corey Heim out of turn 2.
Ooh, 3 wide for just a minute back there in the 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. Up front, Friesen is in control and pulls the train down into turn number 4. Wow, they are stacked up 3 deep behind him.
They got 4 deep for a moment. Pat somehow got safely through. Friesen is going to lead it. Then it's going to be Haley and Heim door to door. Chandler Smith trying to close in.
That's the battle for second. Haley on the bottom, Heim on the outside as we see Lane Riggs digging top shelf. He's trying to get into the mix as well. He runs in that 5th position. Still Stuart Friesen leading down the backstretch.
Chandler Smith went up there and blocked Riggs as he tried to make a move. Here's Heim. He's going to try to go to the outside of Friesen on the bottom. Can't quite get it done on 4.
2 Toyota Tundras nose to nose as they come across the start-finish line. Heim on the outside. He'll have the advantage over Stuart Friesen. Friesen still to his inside.
That was a power move down the front straightaway for Corey Heim, but he could not not clear Stuart Friesen into turn number 1. He'll hang right on the right rear as they rocket off of turn 2.
Door to door, that's the way they race down the Nellis straightaway. Heim has a little bit of an advantage on the outside. They're stacked up 2 deep now as they race at the bottom of 4. Here they come back off the 4.
Now right behind them, Chandler Smith, Justin Haley locked together. Here is Lane Riggs. He's trying to make a power move with Jake Garcia as the leaders hit back to 1.
It's a huddle of cars. They're running in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Right now, Chandler Smith has that 3rd spot locked down, but his car slips up the racetrack. Justin Haley right in tow in the 4th spot.
So Stuart Friesen leads by half a car length. Corey Heim is there. Chandler Smith closes in now in that 3rd spot, and Justin Haley just behind this group as they come off turn 4 again.
Top 3 in a big fight for the lead. The battle is for 2nd. Chandler Smith is on the inside of Corey Heim. Heim still has it, but for how long, Nick?
Yeah, Corey Heim can't decide if he wants to look out the windshield at the race lead or look to his left where he sees Chandler Smith carving a nice line on the inside and at turn number 2. They're door to door for the 2nd spot.
That's the way they race down the Nellis straightaway. Smith will move back just a little bit. Now he is under attack. Here comes Justin Haley to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants that 3rd spot.
Haley almost makes contact with Chandler Smith. Very tight, coming off of turn 4. Right behind them, it is Garcia and Enfinger door to door with Lane Riggs in tow.
Corey Heim's got it wound back up. He looks at the top side of Stuart Friesen and can't get around him. Meanwhile, they're going 3 wide for the 5th position. Jake Garcia is going to take it as he sees Enfinger and Riggs right behind him.
Chandler Smith locked in that battle for 3rd with Justin Haley. Jake Garcia is there. Riggs is there. Enfinger is there. They all race very close.
We still have 57 laps to go. They're racing like it's the last lap. Stuart Friesen leads Corey Heim. Then it is a tight battle from 3rd on back.
Temperature continues to drop here in Las Vegas as Corey Heim tries to get around Stuart Friesen as they run multiple grooves. Boy, Grant Enfinger got a little sideways. He caught it, nearly collected Jake Garcia out of 2.
Well, Enfinger's going to pay for that one, too, because it looks like that the 99 truck will pick up a spot there, working his way underneath. Make that Tom Majeski as well. Up front, though, Heim in control.
As they work their way down to the start-finish line, Friesen continuing to hold on to the top spot. Heim is right there. Chandler Smith a truck length back.
Yeah, they're going single file through the first 6 trucks into turn number 1. Then Grant Enfinger, and we see Ty Majeski running the bottom of the racetrack. They're trying to catch that front pack as they all race down the backstretch.
Corey Heim closes in on the leader now into turn 3, half a truck length back. Both trucks at the very bottom of the racetrack exiting.
Corey Heim feels like he wants to make something happen. Stuart Friesen knows it. He got a great exit off of turn number 4. Now puts about 2 truck lengths over 2nd place.
Yeah, Corey Heim showing a lot of patience here in stage number 3 because he's got a fast truck. He's proved it all night long, trying to pick that spot to get around Stuart Friesen. Tries to slice to the inside. Friesen's still there down the backstretch.
Chandler Smith has the 3rd spot. Then it is Justin Haley with Lane Riggs. That's the way the top 5 run. Up front, only a half a truck separate 1st and 2nd.
As they come down to the stripe, still a ways to go. 54 laps. Again, Heim in the tire tracks of the Stuart Friesen machine as they work their way back to 1.
Yeah, those 2 trucks are absolutely glued together, and they're both going to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Friesen, he'll slip up. He's going to leave the door open for Corey Heim. Heim, though, just can't fill it off at 2.
Heim will take his time, not trying to make a move at that point as they race into turn number 3, bottom of the racetrack. Chandler Smith about 6 truck lengths back in that 3rd spot.
Stuart Friesen still with the lead, but Corey Heim is keeping him honest. In fact, the top 10 trucks right now, they're all single file, but no one is running away from the other one.
And the pace is so incredibly strong with these cool temperatures as everybody arcs their way through turns 1 and 2. A little bit of breathing room this time, Pat, for Stuart Friesen off of turn 2.
Now watching a little further back behind him, once again, there's Smith. Followed by Justin Haley. A little further back is Riggs, Jace Garcia. All of these trucks separated. Good battle up front there. Here comes Heim again.
Top 3 trucks now right there together. Friesen and Heim now joined by Chandler Smith. Haley's making tracks to the front as well.
Who's going to make a bid for the race lead late in this event? Stuart Friesen trying to hold off Corey Heim. That blue and black machine for Friesen washes up the racetrack, but he carries the momentum down the backstretch.
Stuart Friesen now kind of moves to the inside of the racetrack to kind of block and advance. He holds on to the lead. Heim looking to the outside in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He'll back off to about a two-truck lead. We got a truck going sideways as Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt slides it, power slides it, holds on to it. Green flag. Well, there's a caution.
Yellow flag is out now for the third time in the EcoSave 200. The first one for contact. Mark?
Taking evasive action, a very fast truck, Tyler Ankrum, bounced off the wall here at the exit of turn 4. Not sure how much damage to his truck.
Whoa, trouble. We got another truck around, guys, here in turn number 2. That's Connor Mosak. I think he just lost the tire and looped it in front of the field. Thankfully, got down below the apron, but we about had a separate accident here in the second corner.
Looks like he's got a left rear tire that may be down on that truck, and there looks to be a little bit of damage there, so not sure what he contacted or who contacted Connor Mosak.
Yeah, there were trucks bouncing off of each other, and he has some serious left side damage as well as we go down to Heather DeBow.
Well, earlier on that restart, we saw the trucks get side by side, and he had contact with his teammate, the 19, and they were concerned about having a left rear tire go down. He also said he got tight on exit after that contact. Not sure if there was another incident, but it could be that left rear that went down from the previous contact with the 19, Brett McMillan.
Yeah, Tyler Anker's pit crew is on the wall waiting for him to get here. They've already told him if he can get here, they're going to put 4 tires on it. They're also going to make sure they can clear everything out, making sure there's no rubbing sheet metal. They're waiting to see if he can get here. They're kind of looking around the corner to see if he can make it around that bend, as we've talked about before. Big bends here on the pit road here at Las Vegas, and they haven't noticed if he's made it yet. So we'll come back down here when he gets here and evaluate the damage.
All right, thank you very much, Heather DeBow. Thank you very much, Brett McMillan. Again, under caution for the third time with 50 laps to go here at Las Vegas.
Welcome to Martinsville.
Martinsville isn't your average everyday racetrack. It's truly one of a kind. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR weekend at Martinsville Speedway, March 28th through the 30th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Stuart Friesen leads Corey Heim, Chandler Smith, Justin Haley, and Lane Riggs as we are under caution for the third time. This is stage number 3, 49 laps to go from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're going to hold it right here temporarily before we send it back to our local station. We actually have the pits open right now as the field is coming into turn number 3. So we'll see what takers we have on pit road before sending it back to our local station as well. And where we sit, all of the teams out there, except for the ones like Connor Mosak, who had to come down for left side tires, or Tyler Ankrum, who had to get service, all of the other teams have at least one fresh set of Goodyear tires. If you're Ben Rhodes, it sounds like you have 2 fresh sets of Goodyear tires as well, because they stayed out all the way through the end of stage number 2. This could be the final set of pit stops. Stuart Friesen, it looks like he's going to lead the field down to pit road, and he does. So let's start things off with Brett McMillan.
And Stuart Friesen has the first pit stall. His crew is out. They've gone around to the right side of the truck, jacked it up, filled it up with fuel. So far, no adjustments at all. He's been happy with the truck, the way it's handling. Also in, Connor Day is in. He's getting service. Right side tires are on, and they're coming around to the left side to service that truck. Heather DeBow.
And Corey Heim reporting to his crew chief that the truck is neutral right now. He said it's freeing up just a little bit longer in the run, but not too much. So no adjustments for him there. Also in, Lane Riggs on the 34. He said it builds free quickly in clean air. So they might tighten that truck up a little bit on this stop as well.
So as they come off the pit lane, it's going to be Corey Heim, Stuart Friesen, Chandler Smith, Then Lane Riggs, Grant Enfinger, looks like they're the first 5 off the pit lane.
We owe our station's local break. When we come back, we will reset the field and get ready to go back to green. 48 laps to go from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in the Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn, passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to mrn.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We're back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway under our third caution. 11 leaders, 18 lead changes so far in the EcoSave 200.
Bailey Curry is going to have a penalty because the wheel rolled off their pit box and into the infield grass here at Las Vegas. That's the second time we've seen that penalty tonight. Not the second time for Bailey Curry's crew, but the second time we've seen it here tonight. We had Justin Haley come back down pit road for a late pit stop here during this caution. But, Mark, we did have one truck stay out. And right now, Spencer Boyd is leading this field over Corey Heim, Stuart Friesen, who's third, William Sawalich right now being shown in the 4th spot. And remember, he was a lap down. Chandler Smith being shown as 5th. 6th is Lane Riggs. Grant Enfinger 7th. Daniel Hemrick 8th. Ty Majeski is 9th. 10th is Caden Honeycutt.
11th, Justin Haley. Corey Day 12th. 13th, Jake Garcia. Andre Perez 14th. 15th, Tanner Gray. Gio Ruggiero 16th. 17th, Ben Rhodes. Matt Crafton 18th. 19th, Matt Mills. Luke Fenhouse in 20th.
Spencer Boyd now coming down pit road, so he's going to drop to the back of the pack. 21st, Bailey Curry. Dawson Sutton. Bailey Curry has a penalty. He'll go to the back. Dawson Sutton 22nd. 23rd, Rajah Caruth. Jack Wood being shown in 24th. 25th, Tony Breidinger. Connor Mozak 26th. Josh Rayum 27th. Tyler Akram 28th. Nathan Bird 29th. Frankie Muniz 30th. 31st, Stephen Malazzi. Malazzi is behind the wall. And I guess for Jack Wood, they didn't try any type of strategy to stay out and stretch it on fuel.
So, again, might have been a little bit too far out, right, to go there on old tires. We need to mention the fact that for Corey Heim, who has now been put back to the front of the field 5th time today, or 5th time tonight, he has led. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network.
All right, Pat Patterson, it looks like we're going to have another restart battle between two tough Toyotas, but how do they line up?
You know, we've got Corey Heim up there in the front, and he is going to start right alongside Chandler Smith, who has been awfully good tonight. Stuart Friesen is right there. They got a car on the pit road that's being pushed. That's the 22 car, and the caution car is going to put the lights back on because that's a safety situation down there on pit road.
Yeah, they're trying to push start the truck of Josh Rayum. He is pitted right there at the entrance of pit road. In fact, I have to give Josh Rayum a lot of credit because Corey Heim or Stuart Friesen rather, was pitted back there. When Rayum came onto pit road, he stopped behind Friesen, so he didn't dart in front of him and end up blocking his pit stall, but now he's stalled.
And this is not like the good old days. NASCAR does not allow the pit crew to push it halfway down pit lane to restart it. So NASCAR officials were trying to get their attention, like, you guys need to get back over pit wall. And Josh has been left there waiting now for a safety truck, which is coming up from behind now to give him a push start.
Yeah, they'll get the wrecker right there up on the tailgate of Josh Rayum to see if they could give him that push start. The lights are out on the Toyota GR Super Pace car. And I said 2 Toyotas up front. Well, Stuart Friesen opted to start on the inside lane behind leader Corey Heim. So that put Chandler Smith to the outside of row number 1. And this is going to be a good one. Chandler Smith, the former winner here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And he's restarting on the outside of Corey Heim. That's a pretty opportune place to be.
So we basically have a Toyota sandwich between 2 Fords right now.
We essentially do right now in the way things are lined up. We've got a couple of Toyotas on the bottom. We have a couple of Fords on the top. And all of this sort of got shaken up a little bit. Remember, Spencer Boyd had stayed out being shown as the race leader. And this one's going to be pretty interesting. So it looks like they have everything taken care of with Josh Rayum as he's rejoining in the back of the field. And that Toyota GR Super Pace car, this time coming off a turn 4 mark, is going to hit the pit road as we'll head to the Echo Park Automotive restart zone.
Again, Eric Johnson, we love you, but just put the pace car and just park it. We want to go green the rest of the way. They're in the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Green flag is out. Smith, a wiggle on the start. Corey Heim will control the field with a push from Stuart Friesen in turn 1.
Yeah, that wiggle is all Corey Heim needs to lead the field into turn at number 1, as Stuart Friesen's now going to back up and run door to door with Chandler Smith, but it's all smooth sailing for Corey Heim out of 2.
Yeah, Heim's in good shape now, but the field is beginning to catch him. Daniel Hemrick making some moves at the bottom of the racetrack, almost stacked him up 4 wide into turn 3. Battle up front. Heim has got his hands full with Smith.
Chandler Smith got a big push from his teammate Lane Riggs. They are door to door at the start-finish line. Chandler Smith with the advantage on the outside of Corey Heim.
Yeah, bump drafting is absolutely a thing here at Las Vegas in the trucks as they're going 4 wide for the 4th spot. Looked like a little contact between Stuart Friesen and Justin Haley, but boy, what a slide job. Corey Heim takes the lead off of turn 2.
Boy, Lane Riggs with a big move down to the bottom of the racetrack. Now we'll get up to the very front of it. Heim has been overtaken at the front of the field.
Lane Riggs 3 wide at the exit of turn 2 to take the 2nd spot. Goes inside turn 4. He's the new leader in 1.
And it's the inside looking for 2nd is his teammate Chandler Smith. Those front row Fords looking pretty strong here at Las Vegas. It is Smith and Heim door to door for 2nd.
Lane Riggs with about a 2-truck lead now down the Nellis straightaway. Heim goes up and gives him a little bit of a tap. Here comes Stuart Friesen at the bottom of the racetrack. Great racing up front, all 4.
Wow, Lane Riggs ended up finishing stage number 1 in the mid-20s. He is now leading here with 41 laps to go. Then it's Corey Heim. Caution out on the racetrack in front of you, Pat Patterson.
Yeah, we got a truck that spun around over here to be the 91 truck, and that, of course, is Jack Wood. Somehow or another contacted the wall. I was following the leaders. He got turned around, contacted the wall, caved in the left-hand side of that.
Heavy damage to his truck as the yellow flag is flying for the 4th time tonight in the EcoSave 200. 41 laps from the finish.
Wow, what racing we've seen here. Front Row Motorsports almost took over full control of this race. Chandler Smith ended up getting shuffled back just a little bit coming off of turn 4. He went from racing for 2nd to 5th right now. But we talked about this at the end of stage 1, Mark. Lane Riggs, we talked to him, our pit reporters talked to Lane Riggs, Heather and Brett were down there, and they were basically saying, hey, look, you know, we need this, we need that, so on and so forth. Whatever the this and the that was, he has it because he is leading this race now.
I believe we talked at that point how that team has a knack for getting better as the race goes on. Well, they didn't just get a little better this time. They got a lot better. And Riggs, what a great move. The front 2 trucks were trying to sort of block each other. He picked the high lane, stayed in the gas, had all the momentum in the world when he came out of turn number 2 and just jumped on 2 lead trucks and did a great job to take the lead.
Yeah, Pat Patterson, what can you tell us about what happened with Jack Wood up there in front of you?
Hey, guys, it just looked like the truck just jumped sideways on him. I don't know if something broke on the truck or he just got loose into the corner, or coming off the corner, I should say. But that truck just turned around. He was by himself when it happened.
Really tough for Jack Wood, and he did get some, as Pat had mentioned initially, he did get some pretty heavy left rear damage on that race truck, so that's going to be a tough day for him for sure. Well, a tough night for him for sure. But Mark, this is incredible, the racing that we're seeing and what people are able to do. Nick Yeoman talked about it. We have some bump drafting out there. We have almost speedway-style racing and intermediate-style racing, and how trucks are able to truly just fly through this field.
We're just watching a replay of Ty Majeski hitting Corey Heim so hard on the back straightaway. Pat Patterson nearly lifted his truck in the air. Somehow he kept it pointed in the right direction.
There were a whole bunch of trucks at on that restart that I thought did some really impressive and crazy things. Daniel Hemrick, I thought for a moment there, you get such a run down the backstretch here at Nellis, and then once you get, or Nellis straightaway, once you get into turn 3, if you got nowhere to go, when you start checking up, you can go just as far back as you did forward trying to make a move, and I saw Hemrick do that exact thing. But that was some really, really good racing with those guys up front.
And Nick Yeoman up in your end, if some guy can get to the third lane and not get pinched off at the exit of turn number 2, they've got a lot of momentum and been able to make things happen like Lane Riggs did.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, you're seeing guys try to get good runs through turns 1 and 2 because they know that down there at the end of the back straightaway, you can mix it up. And watching from my perspective, I can only see the back of the trucks, but they are trying to go 3 and 4 wide down that back straightaway. And how they all get it sorted out into turn number 3 is beyond me. But it's been spectacular, especially on these restarts, watching the trucks at the front use every bit of the racetrack, and as you mentioned, do a little rim riding and carry that momentum down the back straightaway.
It's always a dangerous thing when you go up there, right? You have all that momentum and you come flying off the top, and if somebody decides, no, you're not going to do that, they just ease their way out, you can get pinched off and be in the fence in a hurry. But Lane Riggs just, how he threaded the needle there, I'll never know. That was really, really tight. And when that yellow flag came out, we basically had 9 trucks in that lead pack all fighting for it, and you're just thinking, wow, this thing is going to be great. Then we have the yellow flag. We'll just have to regroup and do it again.
Well, one thing these truck drivers cannot afford to do is block right now, because if you do, it could be at your peril. We have 2 laps to go before we go back to green flag racing right now. All the safety equipment has been brought back into their spot by NASCAR. The field in tow behind the Toyota GR Supra. It's a good thing these Toyotas get great fuel mileage, Mark. Otherwise, I think our pace car would have to maybe make a stop at the Sunoco station to top off.
Although our NASCAR flagman with all these yellow flags and the red flags and all the way, they're going to have to ice his right shoulder down after the race. Other than that, everybody will be okay.
It's 44 degrees and windy. I'm pretty sure it's naturally being iced down right now.
Yeah, that will help a little bit of the inflammation, no doubt about it.
Yeah, exactly. So where we sit, we have 38 laps to go here in the EcoSave 200. Lane Riggs leads Corey Heim. Stuart Friesen is 3rd. 4th is Ty Majeski. 5th is Chandler Smith. Caden Honeycutt is 6th. Grant Enfinger 7th. Justin Haley 8th. Jake Garcia is 9th. Corey Day, our pole sitter, is 10th.
Matt Crafton now 11th. 12th is Tanner Gray. Andre Perez 13th. 14th, Ben Rhodes. Daniel Hemrick 15th. 16th, Rajah Caruth. Luke Fenhouse 17th. 18th, Matt Mills. Bailey Curry 19th. 20th, William Sawalich.
And that was from a lap down. Dawson Sutton 21st. Gio Ruggiero is 22nd. 23rd, Spencer Boyd. 24th is Tony Breidinger. Tyler Ankrum, after damage, is 25th. Connor Mozak, also damaged for him. He's 26th. Frankie Muniz looks to be back on the lead lap. He's 27th. 28th is Josh Rayum. Nathan Bird is 29th. Jack Wood is 30th. And Stephen Malazzi behind the wall is 31st as we stay under caution.
Need to mention, a very competitive race. It's been a little stop and go and a little bit herky-jerky, but it doesn't change the fact we've had 13 leaders, 22 lead changes. 4 yellow flags for 31 of the 97 laps run so far.
And the good thing, these lead changes are not because of odd pit strategy. These lead changes are not because of green flag pit stops over the course of 10 laps. These lead changes are just simply for good, hard racing.
Tyler Ankrum, and out front 3 times. Stuart Friesen twice. Corey Heim 5 times. And he still is going to have to make it 6 if he's going to win this race. So there's been a lot of swapping up front, a lot of great racing. It really has. It's just unfortunate we've again had these yellow flags for some light rain on 2 occasions that have had to bring out the red flag. But this race, even though, again, it's a little bit herky-jerky, it's been very competitive. It's been great racing while we're under green.
Mark, we were talking about Lane Riggs earlier. He was mid-20s, kind of back of the pack in stage number 1. He's leading the race right now. Caden Honeycutt, who's driving for Nice Motorsports in the number 45, he's running up in 6th. That's a great run for that team right now. Jake Garcia, I'll tell you what, he showed a lot of strength early when he was racing in the top 3. He's running 9th, but you have to give a lot of credit for the way that number 13 truck of Jake Garcia has been running, and for him keeping himself a part of the conversation here in this race.
Yeah, he's been up front all night long, and his truck has looked racy at times, and Jake Garcia has gotten the season off to okay start. Would certainly like to finish top 10 tonight, get it headed in the right direction, and we remain under the yellow. It still is flying here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway with now 36 laps to go in the EcoSave 200.
Yeah, there's, again, just a very slight amount of mist that's come out there, and NASCAR obviously and thankfully being ultra cautious with that. They don't want to put these trucks back out there because, again, looking at the radar, we don't really see any of this, and this is the lightest of the mist that we've seen. So I want to say that. That's why the trucks are still out there going around the racetrack. But you don't know if it's not showing up on radar, but a little bit of it's here. If it's not showing up on radar, there's no way to tell if more of it might be here.
And again, when you have trucks out on the track, they're as good at drying the racetrack as anything, right? Engines, everything's super hot, the header pipes. So that helps when we don't have a lot and we have a mist like this. And so now NASCAR has decided we're going back racing. The 1-to-go signal has been put out or will be put out the next time by the line, and that will be at lap with 35 to go. So we'll retake the green flag with 34 to go in this race.
Yeah, they're going to choose here. Pretty sure they checked in with the Pat Patterson Weather Center just to make sure we're safe to go racing. Is that fair, Pat?
Well, I guess so. It'll be fine with me. Yeah, like you said a minute ago, Brad, it's just that just so you can hardly even see the mist that's out there. So I think the track's going to be great and should be fine.
All right, so here we go. The Toyota GR Supra pace car will cross the start-finish line. The lights will go out, and the field will choose. Lane Riggs is your race leader. Mark, it's interesting. The bottom has been the preferred restart lane early in the race, but it's not that way late.
Ford, Ford, Ford inside the first 3 lanes. Toyota, Toyota on the outside of the first 2 rows.
Who can push whom better? That is going to be the big question. And, Nick, you're probably going to be the beneficiary of having a lot of that happening under your feet in the lap.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be pushing into turn number 1. Then they're going to get it all sorted out into turn number 2. Then they're going to push each other again down the back straightaway into turn number 3. But I think this is setting up to be pretty darn exciting. Obviously, you got the Fords on the bottom with Lane Riggs, Ty Majeski, who was so strong in the early portions of the race. And then, of course, those Toyotas on the outside with Corey Heim and Stuart Friesen, both of those drivers having excellent nights as they make their way down the back straightaway. See some bonfires set up by some Hardy Race fans with the campers here on the back stretch. It looks pretty nice and warm up there. Pat Patterson, we're getting set to go racing again here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, definitely the pace car's lights are off, which means we're going to try to get this thing restarted. And we just mentioned the group that's up front. Don't forget, a little further back here in like the 4th and 5th row, you still got Grant Enfinger, Justin Haley, Caden Honeycutt with a great save a few minutes ago is back in this thing with a chance to see the front. So we've got a lot of fast trucks up front. Pace car is going to head to the pit road, and we're about to roll the dice again here in Vegas.
Here we go, another trip through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Fords are lined up inside of Toyotas, and it's going to be a fun one here in Las Vegas. Lane Riggs gets the early jump, and he gets a great push right behind him, right on his rear tailgate. Ty Majeski will push Lane Riggs out front as they head to 1.
Yeah, a lot of leaning on each other into turn number 1. It'll be Riggs leading the field into that first corner, but Corey Heim has got it wound up on the outside. He'll go all the way top shelf. More bump drafting down the backstretch.
2 by 2 by 2. That's the way they race to 4 wide back there for the 7th and 8th spot. Up front, Riggs, bottom of the racetrack. We got a couple of trucks trying to control, and they do manage to hang on. Jake Garcia's got some smoke rolling out of his cart.
Justin Haley with a big move on the inside has jumped up to the 5th spot. He's now side by side with Friesen in 1.
Yep, the Cup driver is going to be a player here here in the closing laps. Corey Heim going wheel to wheel with Lane Riggs. Heim with the slight advantage as they race off of turn number 2.
Door to door is the way they race into turn 3 for the lead. Bottom of the racetrack is Riggs. Heim's up on the top side, and he's got an advantage off of turn 4.
Will the top side have momentum? I don't think it will, because Lane Riggs on the inside, he's able to edge him out. But on the outside, Ty Majeski pushes Heim into 1.
Yeah, Majeski restarted on the inside. Now he's moved up, and he just pushed Corey Heim to the race lead. Majeski's not done. He's got that truck pinned to the outside, trying to take second away from Riggs.
They stay locked together. That's Majeski and Riggs for that second spot. Looking behind there is Justin Haley. Up front, though, Heim by about a truck length and a half leads the field.
31 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Heim has the lead. Then it is door to door. Lane Riggs, Ty Majeski. Then Haley and Friesen also locked side by side.
As they all race into turn number 1, Stuart Friesen is on the move. He just took third away from Ty Majeski. Might have spoke too soon. Majeski comes roaring back on the outside.
Yeah, Friesen couldn't hold his truck there in the middle. Really got kind of loose on him. Majeski to the outside. They stay locked together up front. First and second, nose to tail now off of turn 4.
We got a 4-way battle for the lead. Corey Heim has it. Lane Riggs running in second, although Riggs now falling into the clutches of Stuart Friesen, who is on the inside of Ty Majeski.
And they're going 3 wide behind those drivers for 5th as we see the 07 truck of Justin Haley give up a couple spots. Meanwhile, Friesen and Majeski still slugging it out for 3rd.
Right behind them, too. Tanner Gray with a great run now. He's all of a sudden in the mix, along with Grant Enfinger. Up front, first and second, nose to tail off 4.
As they work their way down to the line, 29 laps to go. Corey Heim has the lead now 4 wide for 3rd. And it looks like Tanner Gray on the bottom has taken over that spot.
Boy, he just ripped to the inside and took that 3rd position. Here comes Grant Enfinger. He's looking for 4th. Pat, you said he's awful sneaky. He just got chopped off by Stuart Friesen off of turn 2.
Man, Tanner Gray is flying. He is up to battle for that second spot with that 15 truck. Bottom of the racetrack. He's going to put Riggs another spot behind as he takes over the second spot.
Corey Heim leads. Tanner Gray in second. Lane Riggs in 3rd. And the treacherous part, these trucks can change lanes at will, and Nick Yeoman, that's making for some scary moments.
Oh, I mean, they're sliding all over the place, but everyone has their eyes on Tanner Gray, who is rocketed to the front, and I don't think he's done. All over the back of Corey Heim at it, too.
I have no idea where that came from, but Tanner Gray wants to lead this race. He's right on the bumper of Heim into 3 and 4. Now loses just a little bit of ground, and here comes Lane Riggs back to battle that spot.
Riggs up on the top side now, trying to keep Tanner Gray from moving up the racetrack, and he does. Riggs with the advantage on the outside for the second spot once again.
A lap ago, pole sitter Corey Day slapped the wall. His car slowly making its way back to pit lane, but up front, it's still Corey Heim. The battle for second is still good with Riggs and Tanner Gray down the backstretch.
Heim stretches it out just a little bit now into turn number 3. Tanner Gray still battling hard. Riggs giving him a hard time. And don't look now, but here comes Grant Enfinger.
Wow, Corey Heim, the best thing for him, there's a lot of racing behind him. Tanner Gray is now checked up right behind him in second. Then it's Lane Riggs, Grant Enfinger in 4th.
Yeah, Corey Heim's got to be thinking, guys, you can mix it up all you want. I'm enjoying seeing nobody out of my windshield. That's how it will remain that way off of turn number 2.
Question is Heim running as hard as he can or just running as hard as he needs to right now? He's got Tanner Gray, though, big in his mirror as they work their way off turn number 4.
Stuart Friesen has just worked his way around Ty Majeski, move him back up to 5th. Ben Rhodes is back on the comeback trail. He's working inside of Majeski along with the Chandler Smith machine as we go to pit road and Brett McMillan.
Corey Day was just on pit road getting some repair work done, right front fender damage, and he is back out on the track now as they did a bunch of work pulling it away to make sure there was no tire rub.
All right, thank you very much, Brett. That was from the incident where Jake Garcia also had some damage as well. When they come by this time, it's going to be 24 laps to go, and they are racing hard. Corey Heim right now leading Tanner Gray. Then it's Grant Enfinger, Stuart Friesen, and a battle for 5th.
Yeah, and you did not mention Lane Riggs because he just went from 3rd back to 5th as he almost wrecked with Tanner Gray off of turn 2 a lap ago. Gray trying trying to dig. He's 2 truck lengths behind Corey Heim.
Heim cannot take his focus away right now because Tanner Gray is awfully fast, and he's beating Heim in certain parts of the racetrack. Infinger now, he's got his hands full with Stuart Friesen.
A little bit farther back, battle for 6th. Riggs on the inside of Ty Majeski. They nearly make contact. Behind them, Rajah Caruth, Matt Crafton are duking it out.
All of this battling has seen a 4-truck breakaway at the front. Corey Heim running the bottom. He slides up in front of Tanner Gray. Then it's Grant Infinger and Stuart Friesen in the top 4.
A little further back, that's where you find Majeski. Riggs has slid all the way back to that spot. Crafton is back there with Rajah Caruth. Up front, though, Heim still holding off Tanner Gray.
No one is able to drive away from anyone right now. Corey Heim enjoys about a 3-truck lead over Tanner Gray. Gray had Grant Enfinger pinned to his outside rear quarter panel.
Yeah, Tanner Gray took a shot at the lead into turn number 3 and paid for it dearly. Now he's having to fend off Grant Enfinger. Looks like he will successfully do that off of turn 2.
Yeah, Stuart Friesen's right there in that 4th spot. Those trucks run 1, 2, 3, and 4 into turn number 3. Heim out front. Then it's Tanner Gray. Enfinger going to the high side of the racetrack to try to hold off Stuart Friesen.
Top 4 had broken away from 5th place Lane Riggs, but Majeski has hopped over Riggs, and it looks like, Nick Yeoman, he is making tracks to the front.
Yeah, it's like that rubber band effect. You stretch it out and it snaps right back. That's the battle for the lead. Corey Heim goes all the way up against the wall to block Tanner Gray off of 2.
Once again, Grant Enfinger gets a nice run off turn 2 right up to the bumper of Tanner Gray. He's battling for that 2nd spot. Then it's Stuart Friesen back in the 4th position.
20 laps to go this time by. Corey Heim leads Tanner Gray. Then it's Grant Enfinger, Stuart Friesen. These trucks, it's a 4-truck battle as they head into 1 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it done. Green.
Where high octane meets the high banks.
Down.
And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, 1 unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
NASCAR fans, the time is now to turn your love of racing into free tickets, merchandise, VIP experiences, and much, much more. Rack up fan rewards points by watching races at home, playing fantasy, completing challenges, and visiting tracks. Then redeem your points for epic prizes. You are in the driver's seat. What are you waiting for? Sign up for the free NASCAR Fan Rewards loyalty program today at NASCAR.com/fan-rewards.
With 18 laps to go, Corey Heim leads Tanner Gray, Grant Enfinger, Stuart Friesen, and Ty Majeski. From Las Vegas Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
After a devastating storm that brings down trees and homes, so many families have nowhere to turn. That's why Samaritan's Purse responds immediately after hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and fires all across the country. Our volunteer teams bring tools and compassion to homeowners who have lost not only possessions, but more importantly, hope. You can help. Join with Samaritan's Purse. Log on to SamaritansPurse.org.
Corey Heim leads the field again past the start-finish line. 15 laps to go. Tanner Gray has lost 2 truck lengths.
Yeah, and Corey Heim is moving his truck around to defend almost to perfection. Every time Tanner Gray gets close, he throws a bit of a block. Corey Heim, the race leader, by 4 truck lengths.
Now, Tanner Gray's got a problem, and that's the number 9 right behind him of Enfinger. He's trying to catch back up to the leader, but Enfinger's keeping him awfully honest on the racetrack. He holds that 3rd spot.
14 laps to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We will take you commercial-free to the checkered flag. Tanner Gray able to pull away from Grant Enfinger. He'll hold that 2nd spot, but also catch Corey Heim.
They'll all race into turn number 1, evenly separated as Corey Heim's advantage is starting to dwindle. Tanner Gray's got it down to 3 truck lengths down the backstretch.
Yeah, he gets a good run off of your end of the racetrack there, and then Corey Heim gets a better run off of turn 4. Here's the leader midway through 3 and 4 now, continues to lead all 4.
Tanner Gray, Corey Heim have consistently run the last few laps, the quickest laps. Here's Heim across the line. The gap a half a second as they go back to 1.
Yeah, got to dig deep at the end of the race, and both of those drivers are finding speed in their trucks late in Las Vegas. Corey Heim has opened it up. It's now at 6 truck length advantage down to 2.
Here comes Heim down the backstretch once again. Works his way down into turn number 3. He's going to be forced up the racetrack here. A little bit of traffic to deal with off of turn number 4. Tanner Gray kind of fading now back.
Heather DeBow tells us that Corey Heim can look out of his windshield because he has his spotter giving him all the details of traffic and telling him which lane to pick behind him.
Yeah, and he's done a really nice job as well as they start to pick through the rear of the field. Next truck on the hit list is going to be Frankie Muniz out of turn number 2. Still looking good for that red and white Toyota of Corey Heim.
Heim up front now, pulls that truck over to the left-hand side, goes to the bottom of the racetrack. As he works his way again around Muniz off of turn number 4. And once again, Tanner Gray losing some more ground.
Things are getting separated now up front. 5 truck lengths. Back to Tanner Gray, another 5. Back to 3rd place, Grant Enfinger.
And, of course, Corey Heim, already a winner in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Got it done to open the season at Daytona. Trying to go 2 for 3. Holding off Tanner Gray once again down the backstretch.
The separation's probably about 10 to 12 truck lengths now from 1st to 2nd. Enfinger is there. It's a long way back to Majeski, and then you also have Stu Friesen.
Tricon Garage Toyota's out front with Corey Heim, his teammate Tanner Gray running in 2nd. 10 laps to go, this time in the EcoSave 200.
Corey Heim back into the first corner. He's been running the bottom of the racetrack. This time he'll opt for the middle lane as he rockets off of turn number 2. In fact, the battle for 2nd might be getting good. Grant Enfinger trying to run down Tanner Gray down the backstretch.
Enfinger now trying to put the pressure on Tanner Gray. He goes up looking for some more grip at the top side of the racetrack, trying to close that grip down to Tanner Gray.
Top 3 have broken away from 4th place Ty Majeski by over a second. Here's Enfinger now, powering to the inside, trying to take the 2nd spot.
Boy, what a great run down the front straightaway for Grant Enfinger, and he's going to pass Tanner Gray with ease. So move Enfinger into the 2nd spot. He's going to try to run down Corey Heim.
There's a little switch that goes off in Enfinger's head that says ding, ding, ding. 10 laps to go. I need to get to the front, and he's trying to do that right now. Close that distance down on the leader off 4.
Grant Enfinger leads the points in the Truck Series. He came into this as a former winner at Las Vegas, did not collect a single point in Stage 1 and Stage 2. Now he's going for Stage 3.
But he is right where he needs to be at the end of this race. He's got to find 6 or 7 truck lengths to Corey Heim. Enfinger using the bottom of the racetrack off of 2.
You gotta wonder if Heim is doing all he has to do right now. Enfinger's going to close this distance. You can visually see him beginning to close it down at the very bottom of the racetrack against Heim.
As they come down to the line, there's only going to be 7 laps to go. Corey Heim in control. Enfinger trying to reel him in.
We know what Corey Heim has. He charged from the rear of the field in stage number 2. We haven't seen Grant Enfinger this close to the front of the field all night long. It's still about 6 truck lengths as they race off of 2.
Gotta tell you, they look really even. I don't see Enfinger making a whole lot of progress here. He worked their way down into turns 3 and 4. Once again, call it about, 8 truck lengths separate 1st and 2nd.
It was half a second the lead for Corey Heim the last lap as we're coming to 6 to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's see the gap this time by. Grant Enfinger is able to gain just a little bit.
Yep, inching his way forward, but he's running out of time. Grant Enfinger running the high line here at Las Vegas, or at least as high as we've seen anybody as he tries to run down Heim in the middle of the backstretch.
Corey Heim cannot lose his focus. He's got to hang on. Enfinger would love to get up here just a little bit bit closer right now. He goes up high looking for some more grip on the racetrack.
Heim goes low again, as Pat Patterson talked about. Enfinger goes high looking to get some clean air. As they cross the stripe, the gap has grown by 1/10 of a second.
I don't think Corey Heim feels pressured yet. A couple more truck lengths from Grant Enfinger, and then Heim might sweat a little bit, but that lead is growing for that Toyota down the backstretch.
Yeah, I don't know that it's if it's quite Heim time, but it's awfully close to it. Bottom of the racetrack, he takes that red and white machine now, working off turn 4.
Corey Heim continues to stretch it. This time it's going to be 4 laps to go. Grant Enfinger running in second. Tanner Gray is in third. Ty Majeski, Stuart Friesen round out the top 5.
Yeah, Tanner Gray has faded to that third spot after getting passed by Grant Enfinger, but he's doing a good job of staying with these front 2. The first 3 have checked out on everybody. It's still Heim, Enfinger, and Gray.
Corey Heim down the Nellis straightaway now, works his way into turn number 3. He is firmly in the lead. He's got at least a good 10 truck advantage over Grant Enfinger.
Here is Corey Heim again as he works out of turn 4. Clear racetrack up ahead and only 3 laps to go.
That Safe Light Toyota looks absolutely perfect under the lights here in Las Vegas, and he's just got to make his way around this racetrack a few more times to pick up a second win. Grant Enfinger continues to dig, but it's Heim off of 2.
Enfinger takes his truck right out next to that yellow wall here down the Nellis straightaway, trying to find something that can close this distance, but it's a long way to try to catch the leader now.
2 laps to go this time by. Corey Heim just needs to be mistake-free. He has 0.6 of a second of advantage over Grant Enfinger as they head back to 1.
Yep, needs 2 more perfect laps around this Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the good news is there is not really any threat of lap traffic to mess him up. Corey Heim, once again, halfway down the backstretch.
Yeah, it's Spencer Boyd way out in front of the leader right now. Don't think he's going to come anywhere close to catching that truck. Enfinger doing all he can at the bottom of the racetrack, trying to close the distance.
Enfinger had a great turn 3 and 4. He has cut the gap. White flag for Corey Heim. He'll try to hold on for 1 more lap.
Yeah, the veteran Enfinger is digging here in the last lap and a half. He's got it down to 4 truck lengths, trying to catch Corey Heim and pull off a miracle. Heim with the race lead down the backstretch for the final time.
Enfinger digging for all he is worth down the Nellis straightaway. Can he possibly get close enough to the leader? Call it 4 truck lengths now. Here's Heim off of turn number 4.
It'll be Heim time for the second time in 3 races of 2025. Corey Heim will take the checkered flag in the EcoSave 200 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Runner-up is Grant Enfinger. Tanner Gray will finish 3rd. Ty Majeski 4th. And Lane Riggs rounds out your top 5.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins, a career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Imagine a scrapbook filled with all your favorite memories of 75 years at Darlington Raceway. Now imagine that scrapbook going 190 miles per hour.
Have you ever? No, I've never.
You don't have to imagine it. You need to get to Darlington, where the drivers of today tackle the track too tough to tame, just like they did your first time. NASCAR Throwback Weekend at Darlington Raceway, April 5th and 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com. Discover South Carolina.
NASCAR Live Race Day continues on the NASCAR Racing Network.
So Corey Heim, after 2 rain delays, will now reign supreme in victory lane. 13th career win, 2nd in 2025.
Big burnout. We've got that number 11 Toyota parked at the start-finish line, and he will come out in front of the best fans here at Las Vegas, sticking all the way through on a chilly night here in the Silver City, and a huge win as Corey Heim hops out of that Toyota Tundra pickup and waves to the crowd. He's tapping his left wrist. That means it's Heim time once again. 13th career victory in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And Mark, remember, more importantly, this is only the 3rd truck race of 2025. He has won 2 of them.
And in this race, he won it the hard way. led it 6 times. He tied for most laps led with Tyler Ankrum, 39 of the 134. But again, he went to the front. People would take it away. He'd fight his way right back to the lead. The last time he took it, they couldn't take it away.
There's a reason why Corey Heim has a development deal with 2311 Racing and why he will be going Cup Racing, running some events this year. There's a reason why he's also going to be running events in the Xfinity Series for Sam Hunt. Toyota believes in this driver, and rightfully so. He has done so many great things behind the wheel in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Let's hear from more of our top finishers as we go down to pit road with Heather DeBow.
And Tanner Gray brings it home third today. A hard charge from you there at the end, but just not quite enough. What more did you need with your truck here as far as handling goes to make it to the front?
I just got too tight there at the end of the run, but I think I just kind of burned it up coming from the rear. And I just didn't do a good enough job when I got to Corey getting around him. I thought I was definitely better and just didn't make the right lane choices when it mattered. I feel like if I could have got out front, then maybe wouldn't have had to push it as hard and burn it up. So. Just a lack of experience racing up front, and I just feel like I didn't do a good enough job. So, but really proud of everybody from Tricon Garage. Brought a really fast Victoria's Voice TRD Pro, and I just wish I could have had a few of those decisions back and done some things different. So, all in all, really proud of everybody. We fought a lot of adversity today, and didn't have the cleanest race, but came out with a good finish.
All right, that's Tanner Gray bringing it home third. Brett McMillan.
All right, here with Ty Majeski. Boy, you had a great final stage. Came home with a 4th-place finish. How did you get here?
Yeah, we had some damage in the middle of that second stage. We fell back after such a strong first stage. And, just got it to where it wasn't quite connecting with the right recorder panel. So we were just way too free. And we didn't know if it was the damage or the truck, so we tightened it up. And then we ended up fixing the damage. So then our truck was too tight, so we just kind of got flip-flopped on adjustments there. The damage kind of set us off a little bit, but really proud of the effort. Solid top 5. Good Soto Sense Ford F-150. We'll carry this momentum to Homestead.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Brett. Corey Heim will now head into the Neon Garage for Victory Lane. Heather DeBow will catch up with them there, and we'll go back down to Brett McMillan with more of our top finishers.
Hey, here with Lane Riggs, and man alive, you came flying in out of nowhere. Where did you come from?
The back's where we came from. We were in the back most of the race. It just really missed the balance at the start of the race. We're just way too loose. I said it's out of control. I can't even drive this thing, so... I'm just proud that my team rallied back, that my team did a good job of giving me the adjustments that I need to get up there. And, when you give me a good truck that'll drive good, I'm going to take advantage of it and sniff the lead a little bit. Got the aero block for the lead, but Corey and them, they were just really strong, everybody else around me. And I know that save off of 2 that I had, me in the 15 racing hard, that was up there on one of the wildest ones. I'm sure that'll be on highlight reels for a long time. But, a lot of fun tonight. Well-deserved top 5 finish. I'm very happy to be here considering how the race started.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
It's Lane Riggs.
Lane didn't get the win, but I would give him the move of the race because when he went up there, took it 4 wide, it was going to be hero or zero time. If he pulled the pass off, it was hero. Could have very well been a zero. Spectacular pass right there with Lane Riggs.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, Mark, because we were talking at the end of stage 1, what, if anything, they were going to have. Let's go back down to Brett McMillan.
Here with Grant Enfinger, 2nd-place finish. What did you need to be able to chase down that winner?
I think if a longer run, we had obviously a longer run there at the end, but I think another 10 or so laps, and I think we could have maybe got to Corey. Just tried to pass Tanner, with 15 to go or something, and got side by side with him, lost some ground, probably hurt our tires a little bit during that deal. It was fun racing. This Champion Power Equipment truck was really, really fast on long runs. So I was hoping after that first rain delay we just go green from there on out, and then we might have had something. But congratulations to Corey. They were the best all around. I feel like this Champion Power Equipment Chevrolet, though, it was fast on the long run.
Well, you guys seem to really come to life in that final stage. What was the difference for you in this truck?
I think Jeff hit the balance at the final stage, but honestly, a big part of that was those guys on pit road. We came in 11th and left 5th or 6th right there to end that second stage. So that put us in the hunt. We kind of teeter-tottered on some restarts and all, but the last restart seemed to work out okay. And then it was just kind of trying to methodically pass those guys, and it was not easy to clear somebody. It seemed to we had the speed so we could get to them, but still very difficult to clear them. But yeah, just awesome testament to these guys at CR7 Motorsports. We've made a lot of improvements, personnel and in our trucks, we feel like, over the offseason, and it's great to start out this year with some speed.
Grant Enfinger's great start to the season continues.
All right, thank you very much, Brett. It looks like Corey Heim is making his way to Heather DeBow in the Neon Garage. Very exciting what we saw here tonight, Mark.
So NASCAR has readjusted the scoring 6 times. Corey Heim led for 42 laps. That's a race high. Tyler Ankrum led 3 times for 39 laps. Stuart Friesen twice for 14. 13 laps led for Ty Majeski, 12 for Lane Riggs. They were the top lap leaders. Riggs, 24 movement from the start of the race to finish in that 5th position. So they obviously made a big leap forward during the event. 12 leaders, 21 lead changes, 4 cautions for 34 laps. That doesn't sound like much, but in there were a couple of red flags for Mother Nature. But everybody did a great job. Kudos to the track officials and NASCAR for fighting their way to get this all in.
Let's go down to the Neon Garage with Heather DeBow.
And Corey Heim picks up his 2nd win of the season, 13th of your career, but it didn't come without adversity. You had a speeding penalty. You had a tire go down that had a screw in it. Your team fought really hard. I heard you tell them on the radio, thank you so much for the hard work. What does it mean to you to bring wins home with these guys that are standing here beside you getting ready to celebrate?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Circumstantially, we had a tough day. I don't think any of it was in our own doing except for myself. So great on our Safe Light 200 Tier 2 Pro team. Tricon Garage, everyone did such a great job. Everything that they could control, they kept in control. We had, like I said, a speeding penalty. That was my bad. Then I had a nail in our right front tire, some craziness. That was just circumstantial. So very grateful for those guys. Very thankful for Toyota as well for all their hard work and support. This is just the beginning. I think we're going to have a really good 2025 campaign and getting off the right way with 2 out of 3.
What were the biggest challenges you faced coming up to the field more than once tonight?
Yeah, you just never know how people are going to race you for the most part. A lot of guys left me good lanes and worked with me a little bit. I think as we went, I think people kind of realized we were the best truck and started helping me out a little bit, which is nice too. So I don't see that every day, but just you never know. I mean, we don't typically qualify well on these tracks, so being kind of in the mid-pack and trying to get back through there, you never know if someone's going to slip up and wreck in front of you. So always kind of have my fingers crossed when we start the race, but had to do it twice today coming from the back, and couldn't have made it tougher on ourselves, but just glad we could pull them the win.
Well, congratulations on the win, and enjoy the celebration with your team. That's Corey Heim, your winner here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
So let's give you a full field rundown.
That sounds good to me. Corey Heim, the big winner. Grant Enfinger, the runner-up finisher. Tanner Gray finished 3rd, followed by Ty Majeski in 4th. Lane Riggs was 5th. Stuart Friesen 6th. Rajah Caruso was 7th. Chandler Smith 8th. Matt Crafton in 9th. Tyler Ankrum, after damage late in the race, came back to finish 10th.
Justin Haley faded just a bit at the end. He winds up 11th. Caden Honeycutt 12th. 13th, Daniel Hemrick. Ben Rhodes 14th with Gio Ruggiero 15th. 16th, Matt Mills. Andre Perez 17th. 18th, Bailey Curry. Dawson Sutton 19th. 20th, Connor Mozak.
Tony Breidinger finished 21st. 22nd was William Sawalich. Luke Fenhouse 23rd. 24th, Frankie Muniz. 25th was Spencer Boyd. Jake Garcia 26th. Corey Day finished 27th. Josh Rayum 28th. Nathan Bird was 29th. Jack Wood out of the race finished 30th. Also Stephen Malozzi out of the race. He finished 31st. Tomorrow, Mark, we got another big day.
Cup Series practice and qualifying on PRN, 1:30 Eastern Time. Then the Liuna NASCAR Xfinity Series race at 4 o'clock.
Ross Chastain will join us in the booth for the Liuna Xfinity Series race tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun. Then Sunday, 2:30 Eastern, tune in for the Pennzoil 400 NASCAR Cup Series race. A huge thanks to our broadcast crew. They battled the elements out there today, and we cannot thank them enough. Our pit reporters, Heather DeBow and Brett McMillan. In the turns, Nick Yeoman and Pat Patterson. Harold Hamrick, Raul Velez, and Ben Blevins, our engineers. Our director is Laura Beth Barnhart. Sales and marketing, Jerry Horn, Alexis Erickson, Hank Lee, Barry Roach, David Stiles, and Caleb Whistler. Production is Kent Bernhardt. For Mark Garrow, my name is Brad Gilley. Thank you.